The Survivor Specialists are back, and Survivor 47's cast has finally been announced. Rob's fact checker over there on X said that this is the second shortest time between cast announcement and the season premiering. The only one that had a shorter time was the Australian Outback. So here we are, 14 days. That's all we got. Australia was 13. So that's kind of
What are they hiding from us then? Usually that's not a good thing.
That's what I couldn't figure out. And then it seemed like we had a cast of very normal, very nice people.
I mean, Australia wasn't that bad of a season, so it's not there's a precedent of late casts leading to bad seasons. We at least have that going
makes the heart grow fonder too.
Yeah.
Phil's been like dying for this cast to come out, and he's like, "Should we just do a cast assessment without the cast?" I'm like, "Phil, if we don't have the videos, if we don't have the questionnaires, what are we going to talk about? We're just going to look at one blurry image that's been like spoiled and just look at that image and judge them based on just one thing."
Can I raise my hand? Yes. That's
exactly
what we're gonna do.
But I'm glad we waited because
deliver.
I did watch the 1-minute videos, got to squeeze those in, and then like we did last time, Phil, we'll go through the questionnaires, which I think is a lot of fun. So,
and the exciting part is I got a slideshow again. Hey, unfortunately, we don't have photos of the cast members with their tribes, but I was able to separate them by their tribes. I guess it was on True Dork Times, which was pointed out to me by the Survivor Now podcast. I know they podcasted earlier, but they were hitting me up on X also telling me, hey, this is what the tribes are, because I couldn't find it on my own. So thank you to them.
They're Survivor Now. Are we Survivor later? Let's go.
I mean, they Survivor already did their podcast, and here we are just
we are later.
So
kind of later.
Yeah. We're not doing great right now. But we're going to dive into all 18 of these newbies. We got a short preseason between the three of us here. Alexa's also going to make some appearances throughout this season. I don't know if she'll make any preseason, but I know she will for the season. We've already talked about that. But we have a short preseason where we're going to need to fit in 3 games. We're going to be doing the over-under game again. We're going to be doing the fantasy game again. It was a hit. We're going to be doing the fantasy game again, and we are going to be doing the prop bet game again. And I have an exciting announcement off the top on this. I haven't decided which game it's going to be for yet, but we are going to have, we normally do buffs as the prizes. Todd Herzog is going to be providing us with one of his custom Funko Pops. So we are going to be having one of those as a prize this year. And we've already talked about it. He said pretty much whoever wins gets to pick which one they want. So that's going to be really fun for whoever wins this. So we haven't decided which game that's going with yet. That was literally determined today, but a different fun prize to be playing for this season other than just a buff. That'll only be for one of the games. We will still be giving out some buffs and stuff. And actually last season we gave out some shirts also with the prizes. Everybody seemed happy. I know Andy Vogel, I think, got 2 shirts. So he's the real winner here. I know. Big days.
If he won 2 of the 3 contests, is that what you're saying?
No, he actually only won one of the contests, but then he said he's sometimes a medium, sometimes a large, and those shirts ran really small. So I sent him one of each. So he's probably wearing one, and the other's probably in the garbage can.
Wait, I don't know
if he had won 2 out of 3, I would be on to him for looking up.
Oh no, Andy wouldn't cheat because Andy's too smart to cheat. He would be mad at himself if he cheated. He's in Mensa, and I know that because he tells me he's in Mensa. So there you
that's go. That's how you know most of the time.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But anyway, so here we are.
Hey, Phil, let Blake get a word in, okay? Blake is here too.
Go anywhere. How many are we saying? 40 several every single time? Are we committing to it? Or will that drive everyone away from the podcast and ruin the 15 years you put into this?
We're not saying 40 several every time. We could say 40 several every now and then, but no, we are not saying 40. As much as I love Jelinski, we're not saying 40 several.
I'm out then. I'm out. You guys
speak for yourself, Phil.
Okay. If you guys can commit to it, go all in. More power to you. I'm all about it. So.
I mean, how often do you even say the season number during a season? Like, not that often.
I mean, in the first 40 seasons, never. 41 through 46, we really haven't had much of a choice.
I guess it's more like when season 40 several is like 3 or 4 seasons old, we'll be like calling back to it. Because now I can say, oh, like Kenzie from 46 or like Marianne from 42. Whereas I feel like in the current season, we won't have to use it that frequently.
Mm-hmm.
let's go, you guys.
Let's go. Do we have any
let's do
first
this.
impressions overall? I have like a major first impression.
Is of the cast overall or of one
Yeah.
person or something?
No,
Okay,
of
so
like the overall group of people.
it's very it feels like this season, the cast, the jobs and stuff they have feel like we are now officially into like the mid 2000s. I feel like we have moved past, like, you have one construction worker and so many people are reporters, podcasters, things like that. Like, obviously we'll talk about Asia and John Lovett, which I had no idea John Lovett was on this season. I have no idea how they kept that hidden for so long. But I do feel like there's been a big movement forward in terms of the jobs and stuff that are being put on this season. So I don't know. I mean, that was my initial reaction.
Not my impression. That is a good point. I mean, it's worth noting. I would say this group is like on crack or something. Like, it is the most high energy group of
We are
people.
crackheads.
Oh, okay. That is exactly where I was gonna go.
like and maybe this is the way they edited the videos,
Maybe.
since they're so short, and they just wanted to get like every person, like, what is their highest energy moment from their preseason interview, and let's just use that as their casting intro. I feel like everyone was jumping up out of their seats. Like, I could not, there wasn't any like
18 crackheads.
chilled, like cool, like, and not that I feel like everyone always has like charisma and is like a very fun, engaging personality. That's part of getting cast in these shows. But it seems like everyone was like, I'm that. I'm so high energy. I'm so ready to go. And usually you get like maybe 3 or 4 people, whereas this time it felt like we have like 10 or 11. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, that was my first impression. Like, whoa. And again, that might be editing of the video.
Yeah. I noticed that too. And like, a lot of these actually did start off. Sometimes I feel like the videos, they'll do a little bit and then they'll do the intro of the character. But I feel like with these videos, especially in the little bit that I saw, because I didn't watch much of the videos, but they were doing like a solid like 10 seconds before each person. And then they had like Rome do his 15 seconds of pretending to be Jeff Probst and all that. It felt like they just took the highlight. And if you watch those first 15 seconds of these videos, you really didn't need to watch more. At least that's what I got from it, because I didn't watch more. There's Jake O'Kane. He's back. Whoa, here he is. Hello, Jake.
Whoa,
How you
see,
doing?
like, Jake is a very like, charismatic, interesting, engaging person. But like in his video, I don't think he was as this excited.
He wasn't a crackhead. Yeah,
exactly.
It's cocaine that we're looking for here. It's not
Jeez
crack.
Louise.
Well, it's crack cocaine, but we don't need to get
Okay.
into the specifics.
Anyway, we do not condone drugs on this podcast.
No, and maybe that wasn't
all
the
this
best
talk about season
description.
50 has Will just like looking for outs. That's
ready
all
to
he
go.
needs.
Yeah.
For me, I am extremely blind, except I watched the TikTok where each person, all 18 of them, said where they're from in under a minute. Like, it was 1 minute for the whole cast. And there's some people that, like, I was like, oh my God, they're high energy. But then there was like 2 people that didn't care at all. And then there was one person that was like, I'm from here, but I'm actually from here. I moved there. I was like, I could not be more bored by it. Like, what? Why are you saying 2 cities? It's where you live now. How do you do not follow instructions? You're out first, bro.
So none of you watched all the video, like the full minute-long videos?
Of course not.
Okay, I've seen all of them, and I think that's why I am coming in with this perspective. And I think you guys would be like more on my side if you watched all of them.
Maybe. What I think is fun, Will, is that like you weren't even supposed to. We didn't even know if you were going to be able to be on this podcast tonight. Now you're the most prepared.
I am. I'm very prepared.
I always go in blind though. Like I prefer that of like the opening. Ooh, who's going to get the first confessional is normally literally my first taste of everything. And then if it's like, I didn't really quite get these, I go back after episode 1.
Mm-hmm. That's usually how I do it. But now that, we have a podcast that we have to do a cast assessment for.
So I talk about anything for
it's
hours.
It's best that we do actually look at the characters. Yeah.
Well, anyway, we're finally let's actually start looking at these people.
Let's do it.
I will say this. We did a lot of Survivor 50 content in the offseason. If you haven't checked that out, check it out. Will was getting so aggravated that we just kept doing Survivor 50. Will was like, we haven't even done 47 or 48 or 49. But we did a lot of Survivor 50 content. We also ranked the top 25 new era players. So you should definitely go check out that video, a top 25 ranking of the new era players. That came from one of our patrons. We do Survivor Rock Draw every other Wednesday. And one of our patrons had put that in as a rock draw topic, and it was so good that we said, you know what, we're just going to do that for the regular channel. So patreon.com/the specialist, whole bunch of stuff. We're going to be really turning that up even more. Australian Survivor. If you didn't know, I've been covering that. I've been covering Australian Survivor. So there's that plug. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Here's the cast of people with high energy in a way that Will thinks might be manufactured. But here they are, the 18 castaways. This photo, these are all straight up from CBS. These are the CBS photos. So there they are in their attire. The one thing I will say I noticed from this photo, this big cast photo, they are not all dressed in the colors as obviously as they usually are.
But sometimes this photo is different than what they go out with. This, because usually they get 2 outfits, and sometimes they'll pick a different outfit, or like they have an overgarment or something. So something to keep an eye on, because I do think I remember seeing the Yellow Tribe was like wearing yellow clothes in some of the clips.
I mean, yeah, we have like what, 3 sundresses here, 2 sundresses and a skirt. Like that can't be fun. So, but the guys are just chilling with their Tommy Bahama button downs.
Yeah,
that's what we're looking at.
This is like a 20-year reunion, or I guess that's too old for some of these people. 10-year reunion type vibes of let's all go on a vacation and see where we all did for 10 years. One thing that pops out to me from this picture are all the tall people sitting down, because I don't think John Lovett's a big, tall guy, and he's like one of the tallest people in the back row. I'm like, is everyone under 5'9" for this season?
It might be a smaller cast. It really might. I know everybody on the last season but everybody on the last season was small too. Q was like towering over. Q and Hunter towered over everybody. So who knows? But yeah, John Lovett. I think John Lovett's like 5'7".
Do we get their height? Their info, like their info page in their article.
I don't think we got like a full. I don't think we got a full
like a baseball card.
Yeah, we didn't get like they bat right, throw left. We don't get that.
No, it just says age, which people put a lot of stuff into ages, but I don't think it's really come into play recently. Nobody's gotten voted out solely because they were older. They were also annoying, or solely because they were younger, because they were also like saying some dumb stuff. So let's start putting some heights on there, you guys.
Yeah, we got to get that. Sue, I think Sue is the only person over 50 on this season, and then Saul is the only other person over 40, I believe. Or John Lovett's over 42. So there's 3 people over 40, one who's 59. So yeah, heights might be necessary, Blake, in order for us to be able to really understand why people are getting voted out early. But so we do know the 3 tribes. And we don't have the nice photo. I mean, last season, that photo was just perfection. I was looking at it again today. So, and I don't think we know their names. So it's the Red Tribe. That's where we're starting.
This is Rojo.
This is Rojo. and
the Rojo tribe will always consist of these 6 people and always wear red. I missed that from the old days.
Those were the days. Anyway, first one. I didn't even do this on purpose. We got Asia Welch. She is listed as an IT consultant. She is. Why did they even bother to list her as an IT consultant? What are we doing? Everybody knows Asia from Rob Has a Podcast. Like, that was the big thing when everybody saw her in the preview for next season. Everybody went nuts over the fact that it was Asia. And now she's 32, from DeSoto, Texas, currently lives in Houston. They have her listed as an IT consultant. But like, I feel like Asia is our community representative, as close as I'll probably ever come to getting on the show. So that's nice. But also, she's going to be so insanely popular that I don't know how the 3 of us throughout the season are going to be able to talk about any flaws she might have without being attacked viciously by this community. So here we are, Asia Welch. That's our first one. I have Bloom's parade bios up in front of me too. And I can read through them if you guys all want, or if somebody else wants to take over, because I know I'm going to be doing a lot of talking. So that's it. Asia Welch.
Do it. Read the report.
So I am not familiar with her because I don't really watch podcasts, because I didn't even watch Survivor Specialist when I wasn't on it, because it's just like we're just having fun watching our own stuff. But like, people love her, and people are like, I thought it was a really funny joke if you're watching Brandon Donlan's Twitter today, where he was like, everyone's posting pictures of like, we were in the same room once. I'm so excited. Hopefully she listens to everything I told her about the game. but I think she's somebody who's like, how do you not make the merge? How do you not get top 6 if this is basically like your main hobby or your main like where you put all of your brain power when you're not at work? And like maybe she's an IT consultant because she's an it girl. Maybe that's why they put that. I'm excited for Asia.
Good one, Blake. Anyway, here, Will, you had said go ahead and read it, and then Blake said, "Okay, great. I'm just going to take over and give my thoughts."
So thoughts, yeah.
Here's I'll give the quick ones about Asia here. 3 words to describe her: overachiever, unique, joyful. Has watched Survivor since she was 12. Mom started watching season 1, so she put me on. I always thought that Survivor was too hard, but I've reached the point in my life where I've accomplished a lot personally. I'm ready for my next biggest challenge. One life experience prepared her for the game is 2017 Hurricane Harvey hit Houston, Texas. Her apartment got above 1 foot of water, ruining so many of her belongings and furniture. Dad drove down from Dallas, and she had to go through waist deep water to get him. That's insane.
The water had snakes and all kinds of creatures. How are you leaving that part out?
Well, because I haven't actually read through these whole things, and I don't want to read the entire thing. But who would you play most like? Sari. So might be a huge, massive super fan, but still says Sari.
Physicality of Natalie Anderson, though.
I do like that. I mean, if you have the physicality of Natalie Anderson, you're going to do pretty well on the show. Wants blind loyalty in an alliance partner. Too many people lately have been blindsided by their ally. So she wants blind loyalty, love for them to be loyal to her without realizing that she's a threat to win. Pet peeves: people who are loud in quiet places, people who chew to the point where you can identify what part of the meal they're on, and people who don't listen, people who oppose the idea that dogs can be someone's children. Anything else on here? What do you got? She says she's going to be underestimated, and she'll use her social game to push her through and unveiling her competitiveness when it matters most. Here's my biggest thing with her: is she going to be insanely recognized by all the people on the show too? Like Bloom does podcasts with her. She's on Rob Has a Podcast. She's on the biggest Survivor network. If like Rome knows who we are, if some of these people know who we are, how do they not know who Asia Welch is?
It's weird though, because like I haven't really heard of her. I feel like I've heard the name like on our podcast and stuff, but like I'm a pretty big fan of the show. Like
you have podcast.
I've listened to our podcast before. I enjoy some other content outside of the specialists. If that's shocking, then it shouldn't be.
It's
and I like do not know who this is. So I think with this kind of player, though, all it takes is one person. All it takes is like one other person.
There you go, St. Cliffo. Oh, that's perfect too. It blocks Blake's face. We don't have
to. Oh, great.
What the hell, St. Cliffo?
Oh, yeah.
You want to read that out?
On Bloom's video earlier, they said one of the other cast members is an RHAP patron. They're going to know who she is. So, yeah, that if you get one person to kind of out you like that, then it could be, I don't know. I feel like everyone's such a big fan these days. They're going to be like, no way, that's awesome, that's cool. And then there are so many other factors you have to take into account. I don't know if this will solely, like, it's not a hole she can't get out of. It's not like, oh, you have, you're a professional athlete and have like millions of dollars. That sometimes is like a drawing dead hand where you like can't win the game. This could be a small hurdle for her, but I think she's, if she's good enough at the game, she'll be able to recover.
So that Danny Boatwright Hogaboo moment where somebody's gonna go, Asia's famous, and they're gonna go, from what? Like what does she do? And they're gonna go, she has a Survivor podcast. Or oh, who cares? Like, it's way different from like an NFL player or somebody that's maybe was on a TV show in the 80s or something. Like I think it will largely be like, well, I'm a host for sports radio, or I do esports. Like all these jobs that are coming up are pretty impressive, and I don't think it'll be such a like we got to get her out, because most people like, what are they going to do talking for 30 days? They're going to be like, oh, we'd love for you to tell us everything about a season or something. Of like, I think it'll be more positive than negative.
Well, it's like how everybody, when Brandon Donlin was naming all of the second boots in Survivor history, like nobody was like, oh shit, we got to get rid of Brandon for that. It was, they got rid of Brandon because he couldn't climb the ladder in the first challenge. It had nothing to do with the fact that that was like that he had Survivor knowledge. I feel like at this point, most people are crazy big with their Survivor knowledge. So
yeah, I don't think she's going to stand out as someone who's so unique. If this was like 10 seasons ago and someone called her out, maybe it's like, oh, whoa, there's the super fan. But now the cast is like, I don't know, 75% super fans. So it's just not that big of a
this
deal.
This is the first of 15 of 18 players.
But I mean, she's probably going to do well, right? She's probably going to do well.
I have to believe she will do well. I like have to believe that she is going to go pretty far on
or at least make the merge.
Yes.
I think she's not going to make like a grave mistake early. At least I hope not. I'm going to start counting of how many of these people were high energy in their video. Definitely high energy here.
Oh yeah, she was high. Yeah.
So I'm going to just slowly track that as we move through.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Will. All right, next up. Genevieve Mushluk, age 33, from Winnipeg, currently lives in Winnipeg, is a corporate lawyer.
So what do you guys know about Winnipeg?
She won't tell people she's a lawyer, though, but she's also really bad at lying. That was the first thing that she said. Yep. So like this was an immediate red flag. But then when she started talking, I was like, wait, she does seem like she could be a good liar. Like she seems very personable. Like she seems very charming. I don't think she was high energy, though.
One dumb question for you guys. How many more seasons can we do of lying about our jobs? Like, is that always going to be interesting? Or is that always like, please stop doing this? Like it's almost like you're catfishing on a dating app and you're like, if you put how many pounds you actually weigh, you would find somebody that like likes you for how much you weigh instead of like what you think. That's me talking to myself. But that's more like if Genevieve was just like, I'm a lawyer, there's the people that would be like, I'm looking for a lawyer in this game because I can't really talk to people, but I have the personality, I have the strategy, but like I think she's probably pretty good at talking to people. And I'm reading the same thing you did of like, oh, I didn't have time to practice for the fire making because I was playing Baldur's Gate 3. So like any nerdy dude between 21 and 38 is going to be like, excuse me, what did you say? Baldur's Gate? And like, I don't know if there's any on her Rojo tribe, but like we'll see in a second.
Yeah, if she gets a Drew, she's set.
And Genevieve's a sick name. And Mushalak, do we know her? Like, is that like, is she First Nations or no? That's just her last name. Because I think that would be a cool wrinkle of like, we obviously have not seen First Nations on the show because there's only been a couple Canadians. And First Nations is like, I know this from Big Brother Canada, but maybe if you haven't watched Canadian TV, it's just, that is what they call people that have lived in Canada before anybody else.
Since this seems to be the trend here, I will now read off her thing that Blake gave his points.
So Blake just rambles first, then we read the thing.
Then we read it.
Give our take. Okay.
So accomplishments, she applied the very first night that Canadians were allowed. So she was very, very excited for that 5 or 6 years ago, but she just kept on trying. She wants to play like a combo of Eliza, Chrissy, and Lindsay. So that's a couple people there. That'll be an interesting combo for sure. She's favorite hobbies are video games, pet peeve is airports or the combo of airports and people. She doesn't like that. I'm all on board with that.
What Lindsay is she talking about?
She has to be talking about the one from 42. It's either that or Richter. It has to be one of those two.
It's Richter.
It's Richter. No, it's spelled with an E too. And then she says, I think saying Lindsay to people in the game will not raise any red flags. I plan to say I admire her because of her success and challenges, but will omit any reference to her amazing social game. So it looks like she's going for a little bit of strategy of Eliza, physicality of Lindsay and Chrissy, maybe with like the social game of Lindsay too. Yeah. Niseko wants to know if Blake knows that these are survivor profiles and not dating profiles.
They literally probably copy paste this and put it into their dating profile. Ask Jake in the comments, and I'm sure he's done that. Of like, oh, someone wrote this for me. Let me just put it in there.
Well, what do you think about Genevieve now that you're allowed to talk?
I get good vibes from Genevieve. It's just like she says she's a really bad liar, and that's not great for Survivor, especially if your goal is to lie about your occupation. And she didn't really say, like, we never got the info, like, what is she going to say that she does instead? And this lying about your occupation can be really difficult, even if you are a good liar, just because you don't have a lot to talk about out there. Like a lot of, we see all the strategy and conniving like plans, but a lot of times, hey, like, what do you do on a day-to-day basis? Like, what's your day looking like? And if she makes up some job that she cannot explain, this could mean bad news. And sometimes these early boots, especially in the new era, more modern seasons, we're like, I don't really know why they went home. And then you hear from exit press like, oh, everyone just thought that he or she was like so shady because like they were clearly just lying about something. And I worry that she could get caught in something like that. However, she seems really personable, really sociable. She honestly would be someone I would consider as a winner pick if it weren't for this like kind of like lying dilemma that she's going to find.
You know who she reminds me of? She reminds me of Kendra. That's who I get the vibes of, is Kendra. And Kendra, I don't like. Kendra doesn't win a lot of seasons of Survivor, but there's a season or two in there that Kendra can win if it goes her way. And I feel like that's what I'm getting from Genevieve. Like authentically who she is, is just going to act the way she's going to act. She's going to lie about being a lawyer.
Authentically who she is.
No, but it's like she's going to be, I think the authenticity is going to come out in everything except what her job is. And I feel like she's going to be the type of person who's probably going to say, this is a job I did way back when, and I'm just going to pretend that that's what my job is now.
Also, people from Manitoba, there's nothing on the island that's going to be worse than like Winnipeg. Like Winnipeg is one of the worst places to live of how cold it is for how long during the winter, where she's going to be like, the elements, who cares? Rain, who cares? Like, I'm hungry, who cares? I live in Winnipeg. I'm sure that's going to be her first confessional, first day. She'll be like, this is way better than Winnipeg.
Yeah, I think I'd give Asia a better chance than Genevieve, although the video game thing could work in her favor in just a couple moments here.
Yeah. Do we have hot takes this season, Phil? Remember last time we had hot takes?
The players gave hot takes, right?
Yeah.
No, they don't. At least if they have them, they haven't released them yet.
There's a specific player that has hot takes though.
She also described herself as energetic, but she did not come off as one of the energetic people. So interesting there.
I mean, yeah, she might just be mellow in her own way. But here we go. Next one. Teeny Chirchillo. I'm definitely butchering that. So Teeny
Chiricchio
absolutely automatically almost falls into my Michelle Fitzgerald category here because Manahawkin, New Jersey, and this is closer than Michelle was. Manahawkin, New Jersey.
Whoa.
I'm from Forked River. We are that's 13 miles away. Like it is right around the corner by how New Jersey goes. So, the fantasy answer says the hot takes are. Who is this guy? Who is this fantasy answer guy?
We need to get the hot takes up here though, because I think that was one of the more fun parts.
Well, we'll get them up probably for the next thing because I don't think we're going to hear the hot takes. Do you know do you know who the fantasy answer is? He's revealed himself since.
No, I don't.
We're going to get there shortly. But anyway, Teeny, I automatically have to be a huge fan, being that they're from Manahawkin and I'm from close to Manahawkin, and being that they're a freelance writer, and that's what I'm doing right now. Teeny gets a big thumbs up in my book. What do you think, Blake, before we actually read anything about him?
Teeny, is every day of their life they went by Teeny, or is that a nickname, or how did they get Teeny?
I knew a Teeny, and it was short for Christina, and then we called her Teeny.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, we call Christina Minyard Teeny sometimes.
I think this is Chiricchio, because I think the CH. I think this is an Italian name. Christina is probably Italian, and CH in Italian is like it's like the K.
Chiricchio.
Oh, that would be it would be Chiricchio. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I think Teeny is probably tiny. And so, like, I think this is going to be somebody that's going to be a social player that is like, I hope we don't lose 3 times right in a row for Rojo, or I'm going to be on the bottom. And like, because we got to need, but like, is Survivor going to do more like equitable challenges? Because I know that's been a big brother thing this year. But this was shot before this season of Big Brother. So blah, blah, blah. But they have been getting so much positive feedback from Big Brother doing that. So maybe it's an even more thing of like, I guess who went home last year because they needed strength? That wasn't really a thing. So Teeny, I feel like, is going to be somebody that like, it's your little sister, and I'm just going to be here ready to talk, and have some fun. That's what I see from this picture.
Well, let's look at the players that you'd play most like. This is dope. Love this. Elaine, Evie, Ty, that are the players I most identify with. I'll play most like Mike White with a dash of Fabio and a sprinkle of Courtney Yates. If you get it, you get it. If you manage to pull off Mike White with a dash of Fabio and a sprinkle of Courtney Yates,
I feel like you're speaking to the specialist.
You are literally.
I feel like Courtney Yates is one of Phil's favorite. Fabio, clearly I'm a big Fabio fan, and then we all know Blake is just obsessive over Mike White.
Pretty much.
I just made that last part up because it fit. So I don't know if that's true. But Mike White did play a very underrated game, and we are fans of him over here.
It's hard to overrate him, to be honest.
Anyway,
it's gonna be hard to overrate Teeny. Teeny. I think a dash of Courtney Yates after Jeff Probst literally said we are never gonna have villains again. Villains ruin the stuff. It's like Courtney Yates is one of my favorite villains of all time. I'd love to have Teeny opening confessional be like, look at these bunch of losers. I'm like the third tallest person here. That's never happened in my entire life.
Yeah, well, that's good. My McKenna, who's been podcasting Big Brother with Blake all offseason, said, I don't know if it's in the bios, but Teeny on this season was big in the LRG scene. A bunch of her friends are friends and have played with her. So,
okay, so that's a live reality game. And then someone in the comments earlier said Asia was into the ORGs, the online reality games. So we have a lot of
These are super fans.
Fans here. I do get villain vibes from Teeny, though, because in her video, she said, I can pretty much make anyone think I like them. And that just gives off villain vibes where it's like someone's bonding with Teeny, and then Teeny's in confessional being like, yeah, Blake, he thinks I'm his best friend, but we're voting out Blake. Something like that.
Yeah. She did an 18-mile unicycle race in 5th grade. And she used to be fully addicted to the spicy snack Takis. 3 years clean.
Takis can be addicting. That's true.
They can. Biggest inspiration, she said, I always read these and kind of yawn at the basic mom dad answers, but I'm going to dogpile my mom. So there's her inspiration. I'm a fan of Teeny. I feel like Teeny's personality, if she gets a chance to have it shine, which I think on this tribe so far, just based on the women we've seen, I think Teeny's personality is going to shine, and that's going to be, I think that if all of these things that she's saying about herself are true, then big if. I mean, that's how everybody is about themselves, right?
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
But she says super fan, and Asia is on her team. So tribe. So is she going to be like, oh my God, Asia, is this the
they can bond,
first opening thing? They're going to go, oh, I know Asia from this.
Yeah, maybe they've crossed paths in one of these online games or live games. Yeah. You never know.
Yeah.
Who's the dudes on Rojo?
That's what we're about to get to. Oh man, the hot takes are out, Will. If you want to read through them, Parade has them out.
Okay, send them me. Let's recap the first two that we missed, and then we will get
private chat us.
I'm throwing it in the private chat. All right. I did see Sam Phelan's earlier, so that makes sense because Sam Phelan's really, really made me happy. So Will, do you want to pull those up? You can be the So okay, I'll intro each player. Blake will ramble about the player. Then you can do their hot takes and give thoughts. And I feel like we have the best trio out there in the podcast game right now.
Okay. I feel like it's not quite rambling. It's
a little. Look at this go. Okay, so Asia's is. Oh, I just had it. Where'd it go? Okay. Okay, so I feel like people are hard on the wacky phases from season 41 to 42. Bring them back. I feel like there's so much you could do with it. Matt chats are a thing, right? So do something that maybe Jeff isn't aware of. Make Jeff laugh. Make Jeff belly laugh. And if you have the ability to do that, next time you go cast a vote, you have an extra vote or you have an idol or something. Or call someone out on a different tribe. Yeah, that's risky, but it's going to be a big payoff if you can get an idol. I need people to be able to say a thing at the Matt chats and then get a reward from it. That's why I really like the wacky phrases. Obviously, what they had with the bunny rabbit, that's too obvious. Do something like several, say something that people will remember. Imagine if Jelinski was able to get something from that had a lasting impact. Run Survivor 40 several. I think there's so much you could do with it. and they should just revisit that.
See, this is why I don't just read the whole thing, because it can get a little long. But anyway, well, go ahead.
It can get a little long. I don't know if that's such a hot take. I mean, those phrases worked. I think the tough part is like they worked because no one had seen them before. I think now that they are an established entity, I think it might just be too obvious that you're doing something that is out there. But I don't know. That's not the hottest of takes.
Is it bad that I like Asia less after hearing that?
Oh no.
Am I the Asia detractor?
I kind of with you, because especially for someone who podcasts, I feel like I don't know. I appreciate what she's saying, that they have to do it differently. You can't just bring back the same thing. But I don't know. I feel like that kind of.
If I make Jeff laugh, I get an advantage. That sounds like the least balanceable thing. That
like Jeff is just gonna laugh at all the like Boston Rob's on season 50.
Boston Rob has 10 idols.
He's just like Boston Rob has 30 votes. Just dominates the season. So let's go to Genevieve's. This one's shorter, Phil. So maybe this is plus points for Genevieve. I don't know if this is a hot take. I hate fire making in the Final Four. Okay.
Not a hot take.
Not a hot take.
That's as hot. That's if the fire's not going,
it's probably a regurgitated take. I'm sure everybody hates fire making Final Four. I feel like it just forces the players to get out better players early, then it disadvantages great players like Jesse, because it all comes down to fire. But that's also wrong, because Jesse just gets voted out at 3-1.
Jesse honestly was the worst answer.
Example. I think we have gotten. Maybe we shouldn't read the hot takes. I think we were like
this season sucks.
Both Asia and Genevieve, we had higher than we had our hot takes. Let me get to Teeny's here. We really like Teeny, so let's see if this one.
Please don't suck.
Wait, her name is. Wait, what? Oh, Teeny.
My hot take is that I believe every season of Survivor should have a handful of people who do not know a single thing about the show, who have not really seen it, who have only maybe seen a season that was shown to them. Here's the thing. Of course, I would like that, because then it would work well for me. But in general, even on Nicaragua, Nayaka was plucked off a boardwalk. I'm pretty sure Courtney Yates was taken from a restaurant in New York City. She goes on to say more stuff, but we get the sentiment of that. And that's a ding, ding, ding winner for me. So Teeny is rising up the ranks
wants
here.
Minions that don't do anything.
That was always what Bradley would say back when he was doing Ghost Island. He always said that because they were going through a rough stretch of Survivor seasons, and then obviously Dave vs. Goliath was great, but there was that rough stretch there where he just kept saying they need to put people who don't know what the show is, because that's sometimes what you get. And he would talk about the people on his season who didn't know the game at all. They were some of the best people on that season. So that helps.
I've said that too, especially in the new era, because it feels like everyone's so super fanny. How about you've seen 5 seasons or 4 seasons? Like, just dial it back from like, I've seen every season of the show. I listen to podcasts. I have podcasts. I play.
Or my husband's a super fan and I've never seen it, but I'm doing it for him.
That's a little more.
And that's why I'm not going to play my idol and make my whole tribe dig through a shit tree. Anyway. All right, we're going to the men from the Rojo tribe. There he is. All right. That's him. Will, we figured it out.
Oh, that's Rome.
It's Rome Cooney, 30 years old, from Corvallis, Oregon.
All right.
Currently lives in Phoenix, Arizona, is a esports commentator. So Rome has been around, has been listening. I'm very excited to see Rome. The one thing I will say is, like, when you find out who somebody that's been a fan of you is, you always have like that, like, rose-colored glasses on when you're going into it, and you're like, all right, please be as good as I need you to be here. So far, his stuff is great. He is going to be a massive personality, whether he's the first person voted out or the last person voted out. I also said this kind of similarly with Ben Katzman last season, which, here I got the shirt on here. But I said that with Ben last season, where I was like, this is probably the guy with the highest ceiling and the lowest floor. He could go out really early, he could go deep, but you're going to remember him. And yeah, Ben got kind of screwed by the edit there, but I think there's a lot of stuff that was going on with Ben. Rome, though, he wants to be the next host of Survivor. He hasn't even watched that much. He's now watched every season of Survivor, but he hasn't been a super fan his whole life. But he is ready to take over Jeff Probst's job.
Good.
That's good, because Jeff Probst is old as hell.
I'm just saying, I like that kind of confidence where it's like, I haven't been a fan this whole time, but I'm ready to just be that guy. So I'm in on Rome. Blake.
Time to ramble.
Rambles, yeah.
Okay, so what I'm seeing here esports commentator. I do commentator for card game stuff over the last couple of years. It's very hard to make some of this interesting. And esports commentator, what that says to me is like, I can make paint on the wall, whatever the hell drawing is like, here we go. I'm high energy. You're going to love this stuff. And I'm taking some hardcore things that are hard to do and distilling it for an audience. That seems like a great thing to have as a Survivor player, of like, whether you're a PhD student or you're a truck driver, I can talk to whoever. Great. You're born hometown in Oregon is an interesting layer
Go Beavers.
for this of like, okay, or Oregon vibes, but why are you purposely living in Arizona? That's the only negative thing right here of like, is that where the esports mega zone is?
That's where all the esports goes down. Blake.
Okay, cool. So
no, I don't know.
I'm wondering if it's like, where would you live if you could roam? Why are you in Arizona? Are you loving Arizona? But yeah, Rome, I think is like, I saw him pop in when we were doing Big Brother during Labor Day to say hi. And I was like, he was like, looking forward to 47. I was like, who is this? Oh, this is somebody on the show.
He's been calling his shot too.
And
the
the
whole
fact,
time,
like,
yeah.
if he's pumped, I think that's one of two things of like, this is a dream for somebody. And like, I get to watch myself on TV. Like, I'm super pumped. Like, I'm not trying to spoil. There's no spoiler of that, but like, he doesn't go home first. I bet if he's like hyping everything up, like, not that I can even bait this into being a thing for over the next 14 days, but like, this is cool for him. And I'm very excited that somebody this excited is on the show instead of somebody being like, you can watch if you want or not. Who cares? Like, I did whatever.
So he most identifies with Sean Rector and Todd Herzog.
Let's go.
He is absolutely in love with Ozzy. So we'll talk about the Ozzy thing when we get to the hot take here.
Because
he is
of his
in
OnlyFans?
love with, no, it's not because of his OnlyFans. He's in love with Ozzy though. He says he's charismatic, entertaining, and cutthroat. He says he will be the sole survivor because he'll play his idols. Very good. We appreciate that.
Nice.
Will win at least 4 individual immunity challenges, has a way with words to get people to do what he wants, and has an anyone but me mentality. Those are good things to have. Favorite hobbies, playing video games while listening to podcasts. Genevieve comes back up.
Gamers, baby.
Yeah, he tore his Achilles. He says it's the greatest pain you could feel aside from childbirth. I don't think he's ever given birth, so I don't know if he knows that.
I don't know.
I've also heard kidney stones suck really bad. There's no amount of pain and suffering I won't be able to get through. And then what is this? What a value in an alliance partner. Someone bad at talking publicly so you can beat them easily at final tribal. And also wants blind loyalty. So maybe him and Teeny will just be blind loyaling each other, but who's going to outdupe the other? Look, like, I think he's got it, man. I like not win, but he's got what you want from Survivor. And I think so far, all 4 of the people I'm into, but the esports commentator aspect of it, the esports commentator aspect of it, I think really helps him. And he just seems like he wants to play. And like, well, I mean, his hot take is.
I haven't read it yet, but I was going to say, did you read the part where I will play my idols and I will win at least 4 immunity challenges? Yeah, I mean, 4 immunity challenges is a lot. Yeah. So I think he's coming in hot. Like, he's ready to play. We know he's going to play hard. I agree with you. He could be someone who goes home early though, because he's going to play hard. Like, he's not going to come and play and not play to win.
Yeah. And I can do this. I can do this very quickly with his, because I know if you haven't read his hot take, I can sum it up very fast. He thinks that Russell Hantz he's literally the worst social game and the best gameplay in Survivor history combined in one person. But then his other hot take is that he respects Yul the least as a winner of the show. And he goes on to explain that it's because of the super idol, which, Will, you kind of talk about.
Yeah.
But he loves Ozzy.
That's a pretty good take. We have a couple Ozzy fans. There's someone coming up is like, they cried when Ozzy lost. And I don't think it was Rome.
Which time? All over.
When he lost to Yul. So,
Blake.
So I think if he could land on a tribe, I forget that. We'll probably get there because they'll probably mention Ozzy as well. But yeah, I like Rome. I mean, that's a esports comment. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I bet you he gets 5th place.
Wow.
5th place. Bold prediction. He did check the mark on high energy.
What was that? What was that, Blake? What was it? Reddit /spoiled survivor? Is that what you go to? Anyway, no, he definitely checked the box of high energy, and he was the one where it was like, give me a 15-second rendition of being Jeff. And then he's talking about how during the challenges, he talks over them, and then like he'll mute it, and then he goes back and rewatches it. So,
I mean, that's like a fun thing that a commentator, like nobody else does that. And like, I think that's a way that some of those people practice of like, how would I call this most important thing that happened? I don't know what esports. I know it's probably not fighting games. It's probably like that, like one of the big, like Overwatch or something. I guess I could have done some research, but no, I didn't. But like, that's how you do that. So him doing that about Jeff Probst is pretty cool.
A Fortnite tournament that he does. He does Fortnite tournaments.
Cool.
Yeah, he did one in Saudi Arabia. Very cool. I mean, so far that we're building connections on this tribe.
And he's literally wearing a color from every tribe. So, like, are they going to pick the tribes? Is that what's about to happen? Or are we about to see them not be already selected? Like, what? But, like, he's wearing a color from every tribe. That's just interesting.
I don't think these
and
are
now
rare.
he's using his
other. Well, there you go.
He's liking 3. He's going to like our video with 5 different accounts.
Here we go. Wait, yeah, is this the same? Is this not the fantasy answer?
It's him.
But it's a different account.
Well, yeah, now look at him. He's on the show. Everybody knows it now.
Rum the host. Okay.
Rum the host. All right, here we go.
Subscribe for Idol Clue is crazy.
All right. Kishan Patel, 28, Fullerton, California, lives in San Fran, is an ER doctor. I don't actually have. I'm trying to get to Keyshawn. So, Blake, why don't you just.
This is Blake's turn to ramble.
Ramble time. Okay, so what I see with this is Fullerton, California is a little north of me, but he grew up in San Francisco. Growing up in San Francisco, rough neighborhood. So he's gonna be street smart and stuff like that. ER doctor when you're 28 sounds really exciting and cool, but you haven't been an ER doctor for years. So maybe he just got done with his rotations. He just got his license. He's going to be an ER doctor. He had a summer, but he wasn't an ER doctor during the height of COVID or like for years where he has thousands of stories. So I think this is a cool person and a cool job, but not the coolest ER doctor ever. That's being a little bit of a hater, but like cool. He looks tall, but does he look muscly? No. So that's an interesting I think he will be a intellectual player that hopefully the third Rojo guy's the strongest guy in the cast, or they may be like, we're all brains and no strength. Fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He says in his thing here that he's going to win Survivor, or why did he want to be part of Survivor? He's been playing Survivor for as long as he can remember, knowing who to trust as a closeted gay Indian American, waiting for the right moment to share his secret, to experiencing the hustle as a child of immigrant parents raised in our family-owned liquor store. Survivor's chaotic, beautiful, complex reflection of each individual identity. The life experience that prepared him is he gets emotional whiplash as an ER doctor where you're caring for somebody who's in cardiac arrest, so then somebody with a stubbed toe. Wants to play like Spencer. That's an interesting one. Doesn't like slow walkers, loud chewers, salt and pepper. Favorite hobbies are traveling and eating all the pastries and desserts of the world, binge watching Netflix and playing Wordle and the other New York Times games with his partner.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah,
love the New York Times game.
We should do connections, man.
And yes, we used to do connections on this channel. We should do that more often.
He says he's never going to give up his inspirations as parents. Man, I'll tell you what, this whole like good relationships with parents thing is just getting old fast. I think all 5 of them have said a parent so far. So
every inspiration is the parent.
Really?
Who am I supposed to root for then?
Wait, Will, is that a fact? Do you actually?
No, I'm just like, it feels
Pretty
like
much.
Even Teeny was like, I hate to say my parents, but my mom.
I could confidently say if I went out there, I would not say my parents.
You know how
I'd say Steph Curry, I think.
Yeah. You know how you know he's gay too? Because this is me too. Biggest pet peeve, the first thing he said is slow walkers. Like, amen.
Yeah. Walking around with Blake in Los Angeles, you would have thought that somebody was trying to shoot him every time somebody cut him off. It was the biggest thing. So, Blake, I'm glad you found your connection to Sean. You got to get up to San Francisco and hang out and just be like, hey, let's just yell at people. That's funny. Is that a gay stereotype, Blake? Now it's you, Kashan.
It for sure is a thing. Yeah, it's they do like Google Maps, but then they put like a pride flag on the walker, and it's like always half speed, or like it takes half as long. It's so.
Well, what's the pet peeve?
You mean the hot take?
The hot take. Sorry, I'm now.
What's the pet peeve? You tell us. The hot take, I'm just saying, we need to go back to 2 tribes.
Let's go.
Is that a hot take? I don't think that's that hot of a take. We need to bring back the auction every single year. That's also not a hot take. We need to get rid of journeys. And then he goes on to say more about why journeys are bad. And I don't think any of those are really hot takes. I feel like most of the fan base, a hot take is when you say something that is spicy that people don't agree with. Like
when Bruce said that the younger crowd wasn't going to get a sense of humor.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think I say knowledge is power is a fantastic advantage. I think actually people have come around on it, but I've been saying that since the start. That is what is somewhat of a hot take because when people disagree with you, I think people agree with all 3 of these.
I also think though maybe Kashan being as intelligent as he clearly is, being an ER doctor, maybe he saw this moment as his soapbox to be like, let's get rid of this shit. I don't care that it's not a hot take. Okay. I'm just so over it that I'd rather talk about this than actually give you my hot take because Jeff Probst needs to listen to somebody.
Do you think Jeff Probst reads these?
Yeah. You don't think Jeff Probst is like right? He's been waiting all year for September 4th.
Yeah, he's like, I wonder who the cast is.
Yeah,
he's the one who turned this in.
Yeah. Anyway, what do we feel about Kashan with the rest of the tribe? Because we only have one more person left on this tribe. What do we feel about the other 4?
I think he'll fit in okay on the tribe. He's another one. He checks the high energy box completely.
I was surprised as an ER doctor and stuff.
Very energetic. So 3 out of the 5 so far. Maybe those 3 will bond and get together, or maybe they'll rub each other the wrong way. There's just so much energy going on this tribe.
I think he will get
Genevieve's spot.
10th place.
I mean, Genevieve could be that Kelly / Kendra where she's just the normal on a tribe of people.
She will just kind of be the glue. Genevieve's going to kind of fit to where the people go. Like, some people are going to butt heads, and then Genevieve will kind of find the right side, like find the majority. I mean, clearly smart, but yeah, 28 ER doctor. That is pretty successful early. Sometimes the people that get successful early, they are a little too big for their britches for Survivor. Sometimes that happens. They think they're all that. Not saying he can't do well. I just, from what I'm getting now, I would say I don't have the highest hopes for him to be like a deep player. But not to say it can't happen. We have very little information.
Last person, Solomon Sol Yee, 43 years old, Del City, Oklahoma is his hometown. Current residence is Norwalk, Connecticut. Medical device sales. So him and Kashan are just about to be like,
yeah, let's team up and sell some medical devices.
Yeah. So Solomon, I think he's the oldest guy on the season. That was from my quick search through here. I think he's the oldest guy on the season. Doesn't look that old. Honestly, might be the strength on this tribe. I know Rome was talking a lot about how he wants to win all the challenges and everything, and he thinks he's going to be a physical beast. I think Rome is probably going to be pretty damn good at the challenges, but it looks like Solomon is also there to kind of balance this out because I think otherwise I'm not seeing these tribes don't get like overly ridiculously strong at this point with 6 people on each tribe anyway. But I feel like Solomon as the older guy, they're definitely going for a type in the new era where like Bruce was the older guy, Gabler, who could stand up there and name like everybody he's ever met in his life while holding on to whatever. He's an older guy. Like that definitely is what they're going for more with the older guys. The days of Bob Crowley are long behind us. So
ramble time. Okay. Medical device sales. Stephanie LaGrossa did pharmaceuticals.
Dude, Stephanie LaGrossa was bartending in the Jersey Shore when she went on to Palau. Okay, I know this.
So was Solomon. So in the minute thing that I watched, he was the person who was like, didn't follow instructions. He was like, what's your name? Where do you live? And he was like, I'm Saul.
He started crying.
Norwalk, Connecticut, but actually Del City, Oklahoma. So what that says to me is you are proud of living in Oklahoma, which is an interesting, there's not a lot of Oklahoma pride that we've seen on Survivor over 46 years. He's also Asian, and living in Oklahoma this is a state where there's not a lot of Asians. And traditionally, it's not California. It's not Hawaii. So that's an interesting, I'm wondering, I'm ready to hear how he grew up and all that good stuff. He looks buff. And he looks like when this person is talking to me, I'm listening and I don't want to be on his bad side at all. So I think that'll be a cool layer of like, if he is making a decision, are people going to go, I'm not listening to him? Or are they is this a natural leader because of all these traits wherever he could get the first couple Rojo tribe stuff going the way he wants it to be?
He does not look 43 either. Like, I know that like we're all inching closer to 43 too, but like if you would have asked me, I would have never guessed that that's how old he was. He looks like he's like
38.
Yeah, like mid to late 30s, which I guess isn't that big of a difference, but I always feel like 40 is a pretty brutal cutoff for folks. But yeah, so his answers are pretty short and everything. He likes Oklahoma football and Survivor. His parents work 2 jobs and are rarely home since he was a boy. He's learning to figure it out. He wants to play most like Gabler.
Okay.
He wants to build strong. He has a strong ability to build bonds and has self-awareness. He also wants to be like Adam Tyson. So there you go. Like that. Likes poker, working out, personal growth, and eating kimchi. Pet peeves, treating people in the service industry like crap. Be kind. Accomplishment he's most proud of. Take a look at my wife. I wish we could. I would love to know. Like, come on. If you're saying it, where the heck's the picture? I don't know.
They're gonna put it right next to him and blend it.
Why
in
does
and
that have
out.
to be the picture? I mean, it could be anything about her.
Oh, okay.
That's true. I mean, when he's saying take a look, though, I don't know. What is something that they would never know from looking at you? I used to live with international pop sensation Ryan Cabrera. Biggest inspiration and why? This will all come to an end.
Please do not say that ever again. International pop sensation, like flash in the pan for one summer. Ryan Cabrera, get out of here.
I mean,
What
at least
song?
you've heard of him. No,
I don't even know who the hell that is. Yeah, I literally had no idea. I was
Thanks for. I thought maybe he was just making up like.
He's for the girlies and probably like it was basically when we were MySpacing stuff, I think.
Dude, and then why will you be the sole survivor? This is why he got cast. This is like when Gabler said, why will you be the sole survivor? Yes. This is why he got cast. I have more than willpower. I have soul power.
Oh my God. What's funny about what
amazing.
Phil just read is there are no other words. Everyone else wrote paragraphs and paragraphs, and Phil was whatever that word is. But that is literally the only words he wrote, and it's so much shorter than every other bio. It's kind of like maybe he's not going to be the most loquacious, but when he does say something, you're going to be like, okay, cool, Soul, cool.
What do you got? What do you got, Will?
I'm reading his hot take right now.
It's a long one.
Is it
like
actually long? It's surprisingly long for how short his bio answers were. Something I'm trying to understand it right now.
There's really not a punchline. Yeah, I was trying to summarize.
I think he wants to lie, but his family's telling him don't lie, don't be sleazy, but he's like, I need to lie, don't get me wrong, it's a show, this is a game, relax, chill. I think what he's saying is you can take your emotions out of the game pretty easily, and I think a lot of people have trouble with that, and a lot of people say they can go on the show and then immediately can't. And playing poker against somebody is very different than living on a beach with them and really forming strong bonds. He says he can do that. He says he wants to play like that. My biggest fear for Soul, is it Soul or Saul?
It's probably Solomon, so it's probably Saul, but he said he has soul power, so he's got Saul power. I don't know.
I'll say Saul for now. I feel like Saul could win a lot of seasons of this show. I don't think he's winning this season with this group of people. He is one of the people, he's like one of the few people that had like low energy in his video. And I just don't know if he's going to fit in. And it's not really so much the age thing, although that probably plays into a little bit of what I'm saying, that we have a kind of youthful, bubbly, buoyant, energetic crowd here in season 47. And Saul is very laid back and out and feel like when you said Phil, he doesn't look 40. I agree with you because he's in great shape. He looks great. But when you hear him speak and you can feel him, honestly, like you can feel some years, and that is actually a compliment, like the wisdom and experience of someone who's lived a lot of life. And I don't know if he's going to fully click socially with this group. That's my first take, at least.
And somebody in the chat is saying they're my winner pick just based on that answer to
Now it looks like he's talking.
Somebody said that's their winner pick. Based on the answer to what's your pet peeve of saying that much without saying anything, he's not winning a final tribal council anytime soon. No shot.
Yeah, the hot take wasn't very. No, wasn't that hot, and it wasn't that well articulated.
It wasn't that
so.
take, yeah.
Yeah,
What do we think about...
I'm rooting for Saul, though. I mean, this is the type of player who feels like a unique guy, and I'm rooting for him, but I don't see it.
What do we feel about this tribe as a whole? We just went through the first row. We're an hour in. We went through 6 people. How do we feel about this tribe as a whole? By the way, the yellow tribe and the blue tribe, they're going to get about 5 seconds per person. So I hope you're excited, guys.
Well, we did like 30 minutes of preamble. So
yeah, we did ramble. We did ramble. But anyway, what's your take overall?
This is a tribe I will root for, but won't be mad if they lose twice. And I hope 4 of them make the merge.
Nice.
I think you're going to say that about every tribe. I hope 2 of them go pre-merge. I like this tribe. I don't know if I haven't found my people yet. I would say sometimes there's that one player that's like
Jelinski.
They just describe everything like I love gambling, I love games, I love Survivor, and I'm like, that's my winner pick. That's my guy. I don't know if I've found like my kinship to a tribe or to a player yet, but this tribe seems to have good energy. Seems like they'll be pretty strong in challenges, I think, too.
Yeah.
I think from what we're seeing. So
all right,
let's move on.
We're gonna move on. Before we get to the new tribe, I want to name drop our Patreon one more time, because if you made it this far, you made it an hour. So think about becoming a Patreon. Becoming a patron, patreon.com/the specialist. We do content 5 days a week over there. There is 5 days a week worth of content every week. We do Every Season Matters, 2 episodes a week for a whole month about each season. Right now, we are finishing up Vanuatu, going to be starting Palau next Thursday. I've also been going through the Australian Survivor seasons, putting that out every Friday. We got Survivor Rock Draw, casting perspective. We got movie stuff over there. We're also going to be having my after show, which will come out on Thursdays each week during the season. John and McKenna will be back doing Survivor Rewind. There's so much content going on over there. No matter which level you go in at, you're going to be getting a good amount of content. You get to join our Discord just for signing up at the lowest tier there. And I don't know if you're going to find another Patreon out there that does as much as we do. So come on over, join in on the fun. We have a good time putting out all the content. We're talking about old stuff, new stuff, international stuff. It's all over the place. So there's plenty to get in on. Patreon.com/the specialist. You also get to participate in the power rankings game this year and the fantasy game. We open up 2 games to the entire public, which are prop bet and over-under game. And then we open up 2 games that are just to our patrons, top tier patrons. And that is power rankings game and also our fantasy game, which both of those this year look like they're going to be on Real TV Fantasy. We did the fantasy game over there last year, but it looks like he has made an update, and now we're going to be able to do the power rankings game over there as well. So it's a lot easier, and you'll actually be able to track it, not have to rely on me all year. So that's good too. So patreon.com/the specialist. Next tribe, yellow.
Amarillo tribe.
Oh, wow. Look at Blake. Now say it like a Texan.
Amarillo.
Amarillo.
There's an actual city called Amarillo.
Yeah, there's people who live there,
Amarillo,
and it terrifies me.
by morning.
Been there enough times for it to scare me. Rachel Lamont, 34 years old, Dexter, Michigan, now lives in Southfield, Michigan. Graphic designer. Rachel is, hang on, I'm going to see if I can find it so that we can, maybe Blake's ramble can be more like locked in, and then that'll make this go a bit faster.
Okay.
So Rachel discovered Survivor in 2017 when her husband, Derek Lamont, randomly put it on TV. Immediately captivated by the game, love people, love pushing myself out of my comfort zone. She was born in Thailand and lived there until she was 7, but never spoke Thai, then moved to the U.S. and didn't understand American culture. Youngest in her family by 9 years. Wants to play like Kellen Bechtold.
Wow. All right.
Omer Zahir.
She wants to get 6th place. Come on.
Wasn't she 8th? Anyway.
Dream big.
No, but that's got it. This might be your people here. Derek is the accomplishment she's most proud of, likes pottery, traveling, golf, and yoga. Hates hot oil splattering while cooking, balloons popping. I literally thought they said balloons pooping. I was very confused, especially intentionally. Why will you be the sole survivor? I think I'm good at reading people's motivations and desires, which you need in order to pander to the jury. I'm sort of a Goldilocks, not too weak, not too physical, smart, but not the smartest, socially well off, but not the leader or figurehead. I'll ride the middle to victory. I like that she knows that. And who's your biggest inspiration? Every single person in her friends and family are incredible. So that's good. That's better than just choosing your parents.
We got
So
friends included in the parents. That's good. And family.
I like
Maybe
that.
like a cousin or an aunt or something.
And she can house the majority of a Costco watermelon in a single sitting. So here we are, Rachel.
I mean, she's shouting out Kellen and Costco. So she's very good in my book.
That's all we got. All right, Blake, what do you got? Blake doesn't know what to do because now he's heard information. He doesn't know how to respond to that.
To ramble.
This is the person of the minute TikTok where I was like, yeesh.
No.
I'm not rooting for her.
Why?
But she just was no energy in that thing. And I was like, it's only 4 seconds.
Oh, she was high energy in her other video. I would say
you got to watch that TikTok. I'll send it to you on the whatchamacallit. Text
I mean,
later.
I've watched the full minute, and there's one clip of her in her video where she's just like laughing at the camera for like a few seconds, and it's you can feel the energy.
I don't. Oh my God, this isn't me. I don't love Rachel so far.
Wow.
She said she's a graphic designer. It says UI interface. Trying to explain that to 6 other people when you're trying to relate to them at a merge, they're going to go, oh, never mind. I'm never asking you anything about your family ever again. 2017
a graphic designer? That is like not that complicated at all.
No, but it's not
she designs
tell us everything about like your ER doctor days. She's going to be like, great. Yeah, there was this thing. Somebody came in. I saved 3 lives. And then it'll be like, what about you, Rachel? And she'd be like,
I designed a button for an app.
I sent it out and there were no bugs. It was crazy.
What's insane is I find that so much more interesting. Yeah, you don't know what graphic design is.
That's software
It said UI designer too. So I'm talking about UI designer.
UI is just the graph. She's not coding.
Also, shout out to Austin Garso for making a new background for us this season and making our thumbnail for this episode and all that.
Out, yes.
What a graphic designer, man. Thanks. Sorry.
Maybe,
Blake actually wants to fire you. We're over it.
Design the tribe colors for us and put them all in tribes so we can get them all at once. But no, you got to pick 1 or 2 people to root against if you're really watching Survivor. I'm down to see Rachel not get that far just based on the 7 things I know of like rooting against her. But if she has a great episode, I started rooting against some people on Big Brother that have now become dominant players. So maybe I'm bad at this, but I am wondering of like, oh, your husband watches the show. Like, why didn't he apply? Was he not good? What's that dynamic like? Also, 34. I'm starting to realize as I get older, yes, St. Cliffo, this is what I do, baby. I work in casting. I don't know if everybody needs to hear that every time, but on Saturday, if I win an Emmy, I'm going to say I'm an award-winning casting person.
And you get an Emmy, right?
I get a certificate maybe. But like what's interesting is as I get older, I really relate to people that are my exact age because I can like that is a major defining thing for me that I don't think I really cared about growing up of watching this when I was 22, watching this when I was 28, but really over the last couple years when somebody's my age, I'm 34, it is something where I relate to them and whatever. So maybe I will come back around on Rachel, but currently I do not think she's going to make the merge based on the stuff I know.
I'm 180. I love Rachel. I'm in. She's got me.
So that's because you're 32 or something.
I'm lukewarm on her. I'm right in the middle.
Yeah, I think she's aware of what she wants in the game. I like her Goldilocks phrasing about like just trying not to be too good at anything, but not bad at anything. I actually like her hot take here. I'll read it. I think that idols and advantages in the new era are set up for you to fail. I feel like more often than not, they're not successful, but they also socially isolate you or make you suspicious or whatever. I don't know that at least pre-merge that they are worth the squeeze. So she's like
preaching.
She is not going to go for idols and advantages early, and I think that's probably a wise move. So
Yeah, I love that. I was saying, I mean, how many times did I get on my soapbox last season, Blake? Every Thursday you were like, I can't take it. I'm gonna just do something to my ears. I can't handle Phil anymore.
Because people weren't playing idols.
And I would just go off every time. And it's like, just play your idol. Every time you get on Survivor, just play it. And I feel like Rachel's the type of person who would just play it. So
yeah, I'm getting good vibes.
Rachel.
I'm getting good vibes. Costco, Kellen.
And the best part is,
she's my favorite person I've seen so far.
We can do the fantasy draft now, and we know that Blake's not going to take her. So a little late round value there.
Well, he's early yet. I don't think he's seen the full video. I think he's still going off the 3 seconds on TikTok only.
That's all it takes. Blake, you think Blake's going to watch the full video before we sit down and do that?
I go in blind to the season. It's what I like.
I mean,
Sierra
I like
Wright
too, but okay. On to Sierra Wright.
Sierra Wright, 27,
Yes.
hometown Wilmington, Delaware, lives in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, is a nurse. Let's pull up Sierra's here. I think
Okay, so we have a lot of meta. If she gets swapped onto the other tribe, then we'll have 3 medical people.
3 medical people. Ambitious, intuitive, hoot.
Healer's tribe, perhaps.
Yes, the Healer's tribe. She says she's a hoot. She's born for the game of Survivor. It's a really long answer, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Working in the service industry for 12 plus years is what has prepared her for the game. Armed her with skills to effectively communicate. Things can always change. To learn to roll with them and adapt quickly her qualities and bring it with me to the island. Steph LaGrossa is who she wants to play like. Loves a Delco girl. Had a blast and dominated Palau, becoming such an inspiration to young girls all over the world. Perfect example of being able to achieve anything. Also wants to play like Token Chains JT. Mixed with some Tony and D, of course.
Not
so at least she
Token
picked winners.
Chains. Not Token Chains.
Did
Sierra.
JT ever come back? I don't think.
I don't think not
one.
that JT. It was a different guy every time. She values laughter and a good time and an alliance partner. Hobbies are pickleball, crabbing on the boat, rock climbing. Also a big beer pong girl. That might be. And she doesn't even want beer. She wants to sub a seltzer. So I was going to say that's good for Will, and now that's out of there.
No, I think that's a good move. I hate to admit it. I feel like most of the time I play beer pong now, it's water cups. Oh, since COVID, it's water cups only, and you just drink your drink of choice at your own pace.
We've ruined the game.
Yeah, I think we're just kind of in that phase now. I don't hate that answer.
But she likes her parents too.
But her pet peeve's clapping when the plane lands. Slow walkers. That's good, Blake. Saying no offense or I'm kidding when you're not kidding. Accomplishment most proud of: completing accelerated nursing degree in 17 months. Can say the alphabet backwards in 5 seconds. Can touch tongue to nose and was an Irish step dancer for 10 years.
Okay.
Biggest inspiration: parents. Yikes. Soul survivor. If there's one thing I know about me, it's that I work my ass off. Everything I do, there's no such thing as 100% in my book. Always 150%. Plan to follow suit here. That last part right there seems to be like, hey, don't forget to cast me. Because remember, everybody, we're writing these like before they actually get cast on the show.
I think this is when they're cast and then
this is when
interviewed.
They're going to go into the interviews, I think, right?
Not for casting.
I think this is
parade. This is parade's questions.
They don't redo this. They don't pay someone to do them again.
Because this is the same. No, it's not. This is the same on EW. It's the same answers everywhere. This is the stuff beforehand. Because that's why Gabler's response was yes.
This is what we do in casting. These are called one sheets.
Yeah,
no, I know.
Behind
they do interviews pregame also.
So Bloom is putting out his interviews throughout the next 2 weeks with each player. These are just the general answers because this is where Evie had said. I remember back when we had Evie on the podcast, Evie had said that this is where they put AOC as their answer and they were putting everything, and they said that they were just going in as hard as they possibly could on look at me, this is my personality, and like I hate men was one of her like main topics, and I think she was just like trying to be like the most extreme version, so it makes sense.
Way it worked.
Yeah, it did.
I would like to say that Sierra seems like somebody who's going to do extremely well in Survivor. And based on reading that thing, I really liked how her voice showed throughout all of that. Of like, she does seem unique. What are 3 words to describe you? A hoot. She's talking to herself in her own bio. Like the creativity to do that is in spades when you're on the island of like trying to relate to different people. I think she has the good mindset for it. She bought a puka shell necklace or whatever the hell at the airport in Fiji to take with her. Mm-hmm. So she's got some local flavor with her. Maybe she can use that to start a fire. I am excited for Sierra, and they would not cast another Sierra if they did not think they could be better than Sierra Dawn Thomas. So I think she's going to be better than her. What's the highest place she ever got? 8th?
You think Sierra Dawn Thomas is the best Sierra with this spelling of her name? Sierra Dawn Thomas finished 5th on Survivor 30, but also Sierra Reed is the best Sierra with this spelling of names.
Shit. Let me Google that. I'm a specialist, but I forget things sometimes.
Token Jeans, come on.
I mean, but she wasn't.
She's
she got
the best.
6th place.
Already,
she got
already,
6th place.
already name dropped Sierra from Token Scenes earlier.
Yeah, but she's the best
Sierra,
one.
That was Sierra Reed. This is Sierra Has the Right Stuff.
Whoa. All right, we gotta move. Blake,
I think Sierra's
Will
gonna be
talk, please.
we
Will.
want her hot take. It's not that hot. She wants the live final tribal back, so not that hot. But she says it's because a little selfishly, I would love to hug my family when I get crowned the 47 winner and just have them there. She wants to have her family there. So she's a little cocky with that answer, but it's not that hot of a take. I like Sierra. I think she's social. I think she'll fit in. I don't know how much game she has. I'm not picking up on like someone who's going to be cutthroat enough and make the right strategic decisions. I feel like she's going to be friends with everybody, and maybe even that can get her some game information, some intel. But I don't know if she's going to use that intel correctly to further advance her own game. I feel like she might be in an alliance, maybe the 3rd or 4th member of it, and kind of like roll along through the game. Maybe like an early merge boot or something is kind of where I'm seeing. But I do like her. She seems fun. So good vibes. I mean, the vibes are high on the Amarillo tribe. So
I would pretty much no matter what Blake was going to say about this person, I was just going to say the opposite after what he did last time. So I'm out on Sierra. 0% chance of winning, no shot. No, I feel like Sierra is one of those where it totally just depends on first impressions when she gets out there. I feel like if the first impression is good, this is somebody who could ride it all the way to a victory. If this is somebody where the first impression is bad, it could go south very, very quickly. We got to see what the rest of the tribe looks like. So far, we're only 2 people in.
And she's got to have a better first impression than Rachel. That should be easy, right? Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, here we go.
I don't know. I think both Rachel and Sierra we're off to a good start.
Annika Dar, 26, Santa Rosa, California, lives in LA now. Marketing manager. Oh man, I'm never going to be able to get back to A.
Oh, also, Sierra was marked as high energy because she literally the first thing in the video says, "I'm a hoot." So
she
you
knows
say you're a
her
hoot, you're automatically in.
we are 6.
That got her cast.
We are 6 out of 8 so far on high energy, and I think Annika too is pretty high energy.
So this is okay. So here we go, Annika. Being on Survivor is an instinctual need of mine. From the very first episode I watched, why she put this in parentheses, I'll never know. Season 28. Just makes me sad. I immediately Googled how to apply to get on Survivor. I truly believe that Survivor is the most epic game to exist, even if it took you till 28 seasons, whatever. Whole life is made up of moments that are prepared for Survivor. One very impactful experience to note. Unexpectedly lost family, home, and all important mementos saved to the Tubbs, California wildfire. Wants to play like Sandra and Parvati. Wow, we haven't actually heard those yet. And then she wants to play most like Queen Sarah. She called all 3 of them queens. So that's interesting right there. Wants to align purely based on gut feelings and intuition. Obviously, someone she can trust and respect. That's in bold. Favorite hobbies: dancing, specifically hip hop, ceramics, throwing on the wheel, cooking for the people I love, gardening, and being a plant mom, yoga, and meditation. Pet peeves: when people leave the water running, people who aren't spatially aware in crowded spaces, slow drivers in the left lane. Oh my God. Come to Florida and see how your life goes after that. It's the worst. Accomplishment you're most proud of: getting cast on Survivor. Something nobody would ever know about you. Love to sing anytime, any place. Biggest inspiration: her mom. I can't take this anymore. Who will be the sole survivor? I'm an all-around player. I'm an extrovert who can listen and remember very well. I can get people to open up about themselves comfortably. Strategically, I'll make small moves such as keeping camp clean. Look natural when I'm actually putting in the work. And then when I make big moves, I won't boast about them. What do we think about Annika?
Blake, you go.
Interesting. Oh, I'm trying to get to the A's as well so I can hear all this stuff. It's very hard to get to the A's. What's interesting is I was going to go like, oh, a marketing person from LA. That doesn't seem too exciting because I've been around these people at bars, not these exacts. I've never seen her, but like it is kind of sad to lose your house to a wildfire.
Oh, that's
like
brutal. Yeah.
like that is
Kinda
like
sad, Blake
kinda
says.
sad.
Kinda
holy
sad.
crap.
It's just
Yeah.
a little bit sad.
Holy crap. Like that's not going to get beat by anybody on her tribe. And that's going to be something where it's like, thank you for sharing that
Didn't
with
we have
me.
a
Oh
foot
my
of water? Like
We
had
did.
water
Asia
snakes?
had that. Yeah.
Yeah, like oh my gosh. Like I don't think like what's crazy is what is the accomplishment you're most proud of getting cast on Survivor is like let's get you to say something else. Like
Yeah,
But
but
that's what Genevieve said too.
that would be mine.
you've
No,
done so much other cool
Wouldn't
things
it
though. Like
be? Wouldn't it be
Survivor's
like?
like a vanity fame thing. It's not an accomplishment. And if
Would
you
it be
don't have that
starting the
mindset,
podcast still, like having a very successful Survivor podcast?
Well, now that Blake just said that Survivor is just a vanity thing, I mean,
No,
like,
like-
I don't even know if I want to talk
like,
about it anymore.
it's
Will I?
not-
all
Might be
right,
out.
let's stop the
to
podcast.
defend
Yeah.
myself right
This
here.
is the last
Like
episode of the specialist.
Survivor is not like a life goal that you won't have a successful life if you don't get on. We definitely can't pretend like it's that or like none of us will be successful in our lives, even though we're obsessed with it. I will never play Survivor because my knees would break in half. But like what I'm trying to say is Anika, like some interesting backstory stuff, but I don't know. Is she high energy when she talks?
Yeah, she's like intense.
Yeah, and that's not my
She's
favorite
exuberant,
kind.
curious, and calculated. She is.
Not
yeah,
my
she is.
favorite. Not my
She has
favorite.
like a very intense way of speaking.
She
Like,
kind of
she's-
gives me Maddie Pomia vibes, where like she could go one way or the other, big time. Like Maddie would have been so good on any season, but that one, and I feel like Annika could go that way too. I don't know. Is it Anika, Annika? What are we? We're butchering this.
Annika, I don't know.
But anyway,
Yeah, who knows? Only 715 people have ever succeeded in life because they're on Survivor. I do like that statistic.
I don't know. She seems like she's got some overconfidence too, which is never. It's not a bad thing, but she's like, I know I can win. Here, like I have the skills to win. Which, hey, believe in yourself. But age 26, being that confident, sometimes it doesn't work out.
And like, I think the other thing that I'm a little bit skeptical about of like the story of everyone's first time they ever watch. Oh, the first time you watch Survivor just happened to be the best Survivor season in like 5 years that everyone basically says is their favorite season if it's not an earlier season. That perfect, nailed it. I'm skeptical on you. I'm calling you out if I'm on your tribe listening to that around the fire.
do we have to throw this up? Do we have to
Do you
throw
want
this
our
up?
hot
real quick?
take?
Yeah, go ahead, Will. I'm just gonna,
People should play their idols more.
What?
People don't play their idols enough.
What?
I mean, thank
How hot
God.
a take is that? I mean, after 46, I feel like
torture.
it's not. There it is. Believe in yourself, and that burned to a crisp. If I
It
remember
did
correctly.
burn to a crisp.
Oh my gosh.
Every season matters, baby.
Yep.
Believe
Anyway.
in
Yep.
yourself.
Yeah, I could see Annika being good, but you can't be high on everybody, and I'm already high on the first two women on this tribe, and there's just this intensity and confidence that hey, if it works, it works. But I could see her flaming out early.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think it goes. I actually think so far that Rachel is the safest of these three. Blake is all out on Rachel. I think Anika and Sierra, they could go one way or the other. I feel like
I think
Rachel's-
Sierra is safer than
Sierra.
Annika, but I like Rachel too. I don't know. Let's see if they'll fit in with the dudes.
All right, here come the dudes.
The Amarillo dudes.
Oh no, John Lovett, 42, Long Island, New York, Los Angeles.
Finally, some
California podcast
representation for us.
Dude, I'm going to say this right now. I think John Lovett's going to be one of the first three people voted off of Survivor.
Is he
What?
famous enough where people will like recognize him?
You're not going to recognize his face, I don't
Because
think. The
he's a
name, yeah,
podcaster.
but his name's John. So how?
I
Yeah,
bet you John tells everybody what he does in the first 5 minutes of meeting them on the
he
beach.
does too. I bet he's gonna be like I don't want to hide it and make something up that could cost my game. I'm just gonna own it, and then that will cost him his game.
I truly think, like, and I'm not. He gives me big time, and I like the guy. We've had him on a couple times. He gives me
Max
big
Dawson?
time. No, David Sampson vibes.
Okay.
Oh,
He does.
okay.
He gives me big time David Sampson vibes, where it's like he's successful. He earned that shit. But at the same time, like, it doesn't always translate into Survivor, especially depending on who you get on a tribe with. And I could see John. I mean, what's going to be interesting too. So anybody who listens to Pod Save America, Pod Saves America, Pod Save America. I couldn't remember if it was plural on Save or not. It's a very left-wing podcast. So I am curious, like, if his tribe, like the people who do know him, are obviously going to have very similar beliefs to him. And the people who don't know him, it doesn't necessarily mean they won't have the same beliefs to him. But I do wonder, like, if there's going to be people who are on his tribe who are going to know him, who aren't going to agree with him. We're going to be like,
I feel like that's very rare. Like, why would you know a podcast host of, I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of, because I think, like, the thing with John Lovett, and I think he is that big that you could know him and not like him. It's like, you know, I don't like Tony Reali. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Do you think? I wonder if he. Yeah, I feel like he's going to tell everybody what he does.
Yeah, I agree. So, should we read his thing just to see what he had?
Has he said he's going to lie about his profession? Like, do we know that? Because we know that Genevieve clearly said she is going to.
He's literally going to first 5 minutes go.
Yeah.
The other thing is, too, he's an Obama speechwriter. There's no way he's not telling people. He's
how do you not tell people that?
I would tell everybody that. Like, are you kidding me?
Speech.
Here's the 3 words to describe him. The 3 words to describe: opinions for days. It's a great answer.
Bro. That's a great answer. That's an answer of a clever writer right there.
What prepared him for the game? When I was 13, I got cut from the baseball team on the way to the game. Also a career in politics. Oh. He wants to play like Penner with an Aubrey, Moon, and Cochrane Rising. Kendra's got to explain that. Let's see. Consistency, thoughtfulness, and a vibe that says, I won't panic and stab you in the back. That's what he wants from his partner. Loves video games, crossword puzzles, hiking, seeing movies in the theater while theaters still exist. Pet peeves, too many to count, phones at stoplight, people who cut a line and then act confused. I'm constantly annoyed. I'm like a gay Larry David. Accomplishment you're most proud of: co-founding Vote Save America, which lets people sign up to volunteer, donate, and register votes. We've helped raise tens of millions of dollars and signed up hundreds of thousands to volunteer. Something nobody would ever know: astronaut Buzz Aldrin almost punched me in the face.
Yeah, I would never say that to anybody. Don't
wait. Is that video? Was that him?
No, it can't be. He there's no way he doesn't think the moon thing didn't happen. That guy actually got punched.
Punches something. There's no way that's John Lovett.
That would be insane.
Maybe is he making
Beverly Hills Hotel? Punches his heckler. It was Bart Sibrel, so it's not that dude.
Okay. I was going to say, there's no way.
Hopefully
that would have been insane.
Yeah, maybe he's making a reference to it in some way.
He said he's always felt like an outsider because he's gay, but I'm being honest that that was never my largest problem. Social graces, fitting in, making friends, it's never come naturally to me. I had to work at it, and that way I've been training for Survivor my whole life. Also, like, I really do think he's an early boot. I do.
Yeah, I think his profession hurts him
a lot.
But
what
I don't know
if he's going to do well on Survivor?
I think he's social. I mean, he just said he's had to work at that his whole life, similar to Teeny said the same thing, where it's like when you have to work at being social, it doesn't come naturally. Often you're better at it, more prepared for something like Survivor. I think he could do well. It's just more, I don't know.
So, ramble real quick for you. The outro to every Survivor advertisement that has been shown, they are putting him in the thing. He has the most neurotic thing ever of like, I'm scared to even look at the beach. And like, I have to tell myself, like, breathe. And if you think it's bad for you, it's double worse for me. I'm like, it's not worse. It's not worse for you. It is worse for me that someone is talking through their anxiety like this and being like this. And like, it's frustrating to look at the bio stuff of like, this person doesn't care about Survivor. He cares about writing the best bio answers of all time because that's what he's good at. And he's like, you want to know who I compare myself? The greatest, most lucrative writer of all time, Larry David. I'm just everything he is, but gay as well. And you're just like, oh man, you think of yourself so highly in a game where
Blake is mad, dude.
You need to be humble. You need to be humble, and you need to be like, I get where you're coming. I'm going to meet you halfway. I don't think you meet people halfway if you've been quote unquote famous for about 10 years now. Or I talked to Obama. I send Obama notes of he didn't say my speech right. Obama's like one of the greatest speech orators or whatever the hell they're called. Like his words, I was part of that, is like, oh my God, like you're a genius or whatever, but that's not going to get you far on Survivor.
I think the biggest problem with John is, and like maybe John ends up fitting. I mean, look, I thought Mike White was going to go out early, but I think Mike White has a personability that is just like really hard to put a finger on. He's just got it. I think the thing with John is with the accomplishments he has, why would you not want to talk about them? I feel like they're such massive accomplishments that you should be proud of them, but how do you stop them on Survivor? And again, that's where it brings me to like my David Sampson thing. But at the other end of it, if he can get in with the right people who do know him, that could really carry him. Like that could help but like it's somebody over here said, Jay Burn Aquatic said, Jeff wants to create the next David Wright. Like he's always trying to create a new Cochran. John's not Cochran or David Wright or anything like that, because David Wright, yeah, he wrote for Family Guy, but David Wright wasn't a showrunner on a TV show. John Cochran at the time when he played originally wasn't like a massive success. Like, yeah, he went to Harvard and stuff, but like he hadn't been a massive success. So I think with John Lovett, the difference is he's an alpha posing as somebody who's below that. And he's not. Like he's posing. He is an alpha. Everything he's done in his career is alpha male, you know, like in its own way. Like he has become that guy. He has reached the highest heights you can possibly reach in the professions that he has chosen. And is he going to be able to mask what he is? Tatiana Marano edit says he's not going to hide it. He's not going to lie. He said in Mike Bloom's interview.
Yeah. See, that's the worry.
It's hard.
It's just, I don't think that's a way to get the win. Maybe he can go far, but I don't see him as winning. Do we want his hot take?
Yeah.
It's not that hot, but he's just
none of them have been.
The idea that you need to make big moves, he thinks it's overrated and that juries shouldn't value it, and that doing something extra that's theater, it's just not really strategic. It's strategical theater, like making fire. And he kind of laughs at this idea of big moves, but he's like, that's what juries value. So what am I supposed to do? He's like, I got to figure that out. So he's got some good analysis on the game, at least, but that's not the hottest it takes. I think a lot of people agree that like big moves are kind of like just what Jeff wants and the TV show wants, but it's not necessarily something that makes for a good Survivor game.
And we do have an answer to a question you said earlier. Why is Asia's occupation not podcast host? It's because John Lovett's is. And
you can't have two podcast hosts.
You can't have two, and it's not comparable at all of like I'm on this one sometimes versus one of the most famous of this person.
Yeah, like one of the biggest podcasts in the world right now. Next, Sam Phelan.
He's the Ozzy fan.
He's also a huge Ozzy fan. Yes. He's the one who cried. Sam Phelan, 24, Schaumburg, Illinois, Nashville, Tennessee now, sports reporter. Dude, he said, and I already know his hot take because I accidentally watched the clip earlier. The right person always wins. And he went off about how Gabler deserved his win in Survivor 43. And you could feel that this energy was absolutely coming from a Michelle Fitzgerald stan. And I could feel it deep in my heart.
But also an Ozzy fan, though.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's fine. You can be a fan of somebody and just understand that they lost. Like, I understand why Michelle lost World Winners at War, but I also understand why she dominated Co-Wrong. I feel like Sam Phelan could help me achieve my dream of building the giant statues of Gabler and Michelle's head in my backyard, like what they did with Boston Rob and Sandra. I've been saying it the whole time. I'm going to go build those because those were my people. I feel like Sam Phelan would get behind that. So I haven't really read Sam's bio. I don't need to. Sam is like one of my top like 3 or 4 to win this season.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's crazy.
I don't know if I know anyone.
Who does he most identify with? Michelle Fitzgerald. So much more to her than appearance and played the game twice with grit. Tough exterior with emotional core. My game may also look similar to Devin Pinto. Okay, we should just stop at Michelle, but that's fine. Michelle,
I mean, Devin Pinto.
I like Devin. I like Devin. Bring him back.
I mean, we all, I think, are Devin fans here.
Yeah, so. I'm a Devin fan, but it's just like Michelle, Devin. You know, I mean, it's a big drop off. That was the only part I needed to read. If anybody else wants more information about
he already has a fiance. He's not going to get in a showmance. How did he get on the show? What the heck? Survivor. We need love on the island. He's also an NFL reporter.
Yeah, he works at the
Titans. That's cool.
That's huge. He's only 24. I thought he was going to be older. That's young to be doing that.
He also is high energy too. So that makes this
definitely.
Are we through? Is this the last person on the tribe?
One more.
One more. So
guy.
5 of 5 people on this tribe
Jeez.
have hit high energy.
Ramble time.
Ramble it out.
I think he is going to be. If you're a sports person, you're athletic. It looks like he's stronger than John. I don't know how many people aren't probably in this cast, but like, it's something where like he's younger than everybody so far on the tribe. So I think this will be but I already have a fiance. So it's not like this is kind of the perfect tribe so far for him to do well of like, you need me, but there's like, I'm your younger brother because I don't think the next person is going to be even younger. And I'm also I'm not John. And like, John's maybe a little bit annoying. Don't you agree? I know that's not really anything for Sam. So maybe I'm kind of like whatever about it, but like Nashville, Tennessee, that's the Tennessee Titans. So that's kind of cool of like, that's not a bad team. If it was a different team, I'd be like, anybody could be a Browns reporter, but like Tennessee's probably a little harder.
I highly doubt that, man.
I think
the Titans are a pretty shit franchise.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Browns have way
Okay.
more football history.
What are the Titans right now? Projected to finish 4th and probably like.
I'm not in fantasy football. I'm switched to Survivor.
I did a fantasy football draft while doing this podcast. Well done.
Don't tell people that. They're gonna be
Nobody
like,
would have known if you hadn't figured it out now.
See in your eyes. Yeah, the Browns are not a good franchise. Get out of here. They're worse than the Titans. And if you disagree, there's something morally compassed with you.
Mm-hmm.
Will, what do you think about Sam?
Yeah, I Blake, you said this is a good tribe for him. I don't know if it is. I think I need to see who the third man is on this tribe.
Give us a quick look, Phil.
I don't know if he's gonna like really hit it off with John, and then like I don't see him and Rachel fully hit it off. I don't see him and Annika really hitting it off. Maybe him and Sierra can figure some youthful energy out, but being so young and not having like, I don't know if the next guy is like a jockey type.
Is the next person even younger, Phil? And I'm screwing up so bad.
No, it's not.
No, I think his game heavily kind of hinges on who the sixth tribe member is. I mean, I think I agree with his takes. I like his opinions. I like football.
He said winners at war is a mid-season at best. Love it. And he started talking, this is how I knew he was a Michelle Fitzgerald fan. He started talking about how everybody was playing for 6th, 7th, or 8th. Once they got down to that point, they weren't playing to win. And I was like, oh my God, he's literally calling out Jeremy, Denise, and Nick, who would not listen to Michelle when everything she said was right.
Or Ben, Ben gave up.
Yeah.
Literally.
Ben literally, yeah.
No, I mean, I agree with the takes. It's and maybe he's one of these people, and it was a job like this, being a reporter at age 24, maybe he's someone who's more mature than his age suggests, and he could do really well. I'm just like looking around on this tribe and not seeing who he's going to like instantly form like a bond with. So
I think that's
probably
fair.
this next guy.
Probably
Next
this
guy.
guy.
Number 6.
Andy Rueda. This is the Rob Has a Podcast patron, 31 years old.
Buffalo has a football team.
AI research assistant, dude.
Okay.
He's gonna bond big time. Yeah,
I think Sam and Andy can now get together. Maybe
we should just call him Samandy from now on because they're
the Mandy.
Final. So Mandy, I like Andy. This is a cool.
I don't know if I watched
I mean,
Andy's video. Honestly, I thought I got all videos in, and let me see.
Yeah, John.
Wow, he was that forgettable. Oh well. Wow. He's frenetic, warm, and creative. Playing Survivor has been a dream. The casting process itself is what prepared him for the game. Was a finalist last cycle, and it was a very emotional challenge. So he's been a finalist. Identifies the most with Yule for being a triple threat Goliath and truly inspirational Asian representation. I think I'll play most like Omer, though he didn't win. He demonstrated the optimal, most respectable blueprint for a good new era game. So he's an RHAP patron, but he definitely listens to me. He's a K-pop stan. Grammar Nazis are a pet peeve. So Will, he does not like you.
I don't like Andy.
As we sat there, if anybody wants to be a patron and listen to Will butcher the English language while trying to explain what behind means, my goodness gracious.
This guy Andy like studies language and how it should be used, but he doesn't like grammar Nazis.
Maternal grandfather served in World War II. So that's good. That's his inspiration. At least it wasn't his mom or dad, still family, but we'll get there. 2 good players smushed into one. 2 great powers are his ability to charm and disarm people from all walks of life and his ability to crunch numbers in a pinch.
I don't know if
Yeah.
he's as good of a partner for Sam as I initially thought. I think he might lean John over Sam.
He does. Now, here's a big thing. And normally I don't really care about like the whole politics of it all, but he mentions that his maternal grandfather was also, and a reason for being the inspiration is being one of the few Democrats on either side of his family. John Lovett, very left-wing podcast. Do you think Andy, as a R-Hat patron, do you think he knows John Lovett?
Yeah, he might. He might.
A little Jeff being like, how are we going to get John Lovett to Final 12? Like, here it is.
Buffalo plays Tennessee every other season. Does he know who Sam is as a reporter?
I'm just saying, so far only one person has mentioned that they're a Democrat in their bio and they're on the same starting tribe as John Lovett. I'm just saying.
That's not going to help John Lovett bring a puzzle piece back, though.
No, but it's certainly going to help him with the social aspect.
His hot take is that immunity idols aren't that good. Pretty good take, actually. I know we've had some different versions of this, but he's like, there's nothing more overrated in Survivor history than the hit immunity idol. He's like, it's just not that good.
They always suck.
I like that take at least. I think Andy's actually going to do really well. I'm pretty high on Andy.
He looks like the best person from this tribe.
Yeah, for first impressions, I think he's going to do just fine. And I'm not feeling good about Sam anymore.
No,
even though I like Sam a lot, I just don't know how he's going to fit in.
Sam and Rachel are the final two of this season.
That would be good. I mean, Rachel will win.
I will do some drastic thing saying that Rachel will not win this season.
Justice for Kellen, finally.
Yeah.
Will and Kellen are the only two people who've been waiting for it for 11 seasons.
Yeah.
So that's the entire yellow tribe. What do we think about that tribe overall?
High energy. 6 for 6 on energy from their videos.
I think probably 2 of them will go before pre-merge. And then
before pre-merge, where the hell are they going? Unless you're butchering the English language like Will does. But.
About 4 people make merge. I hope they do well, but Sierra and Sam, the S's are who I'm rooting for this one.
Shut up, dude. My God. They're literally the 2 people you said were in trouble.
No, I think
you said Rachel. It's Will who said that.
He might want to root for the people that are in trouble. A true underdog story.
All right, we're at 1 hour and 40 minutes. Let's jump into this next this last tribe. Whoa.
Azul.
I was hoping Blake would have tried to figure it out. Blue. We start with Taryn TK Foster, 31, Prince George's County, Maryland, now lives in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, athlete marketing manager. Thought he was an interesting one that kind of jumped off the screen when they first showed the clip, or maybe it was just when I was reading it on Inside Survivor, whatever it was, when I saw the athlete marketing manager aspect of things, I thought that was a pretty cool job, a pretty unique thing. And he's definitely dealing with egos and big personalities and stuff like that all the time. So I thought that was pretty good for him. Spontaneous, genuine, and ambitious. Was diagnosed with kidney disease that almost killed him in high school. That's pretty insane. He mentions that a couple times. He likes watching football, going to the gym, playing Xbox. He doesn't like unmotivated people who think they know everything, someone talking over him while he's speaking, bad hygiene. He's just really accomplished. He's proud of his career. Football's taken away from him due to illness. He told himself that he's going to find a way somehow to get back involved, and he works as a marketing manager for NFL players, once again beating the odds. Kind of a nerd at heart. Hands down his mom. And because he would put his mind to he's going to win Survivor, once he gets a goal in his sights, it's rare that he doesn't achieve it. So anybody, if one of these last 5 people doesn't mention a family member as their inspiration,
they're our favorite.
They're my winner pick.
Yeah. I'm going to say here, though, early on, TK is my winner pick. He's winning this season.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I get
great TKO.
I get great vibes from TK. I think he has the skills needed in his job and profession, and he's got a charm. I'm not labeling him as energetic because he's kind of subdued a little bit. He's a little bit laid back, but he's still super charming and has charisma. So I think that's what you need this season. You can't be over the top like everybody else. You're going to have to not stand out so much to get far, but you're going to still have to make those connections and bonds. And I'm seeing really good things from TK. I think he wins.
Also, we have talked about this in the past of some people have quit Survivor recently. And it is kind of Why do people quit Survivor? And then there's some people like TK where you're like, I know damn well this man is never quitting anything.
Mhm.
He's going to be somebody that like does his best on an individual challenge and like passes out. Like what that stuff means of I had a very terrifying brush with death when I was a teenager. I have come back. I have outlived my terminalness. I have blossomed into a person. I'm probably a pillar of my community. I'm doing this for not only me, my family. Anybody can say that, but when somebody goes through something like that, and we've had a couple of those, it's just so much like I believe in you, TK. I know you're going to have the fire in you of this isn't a challenge for you. This is an opportunity. Everything that happens to him, he's going to be, I don't want this to take this away from me. There won't be a time where he is like plays complacency, like everything. I know that's so much stuff to take from just those words, but I think that's why you can feel great about TK and root for him all season long. And if you're trying to win your Survivor draft with your friends next week, pick TK, and I don't think you're going to be sad at all.
First boot.
So Blake copied me. Yeah, Blake
Yeah,
copied
I'm saying
me.
first
Phil has
boot,
to
no
go
doubt.
the other way on this.
I've never seen a person in my life doing this podcast, which now we've been doing since the end of season 29. I've never seen somebody who's a more obvious first boot in my entire life. I've never, and I saw Courtney Moon. Like I saw that happen. I saw Wendy from Nicaragua.
He's lying.
But I've never seen anybody at TK's level. No, I mean, look, TK has what you're supposed to have when you step out on the Survivor. And I think the whole idea of him dealing with the massive personalities of NFL players in his day-to-day life is a huge thing working in his advantage. It'll come down to who's on his tribe. He's going to be strong. This guy's the total package, which to me makes it seem like he'll go around 6th, 7th, somewhere in that range. I mean,
no, he's winning.
Nah, he's not going to. Unless you are you on the same website Blake goes on every season and then pretends.
Oh my gosh, we're not on. We're just
Yeah, my winner pick was what?
Tim
Zelensky.
You picked Tim.
Oh yeah,
wasn't much better. I think your top two were Tim and Zelensky. So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think TK's good. What did you say his hot take already? It's 11 o'clock. I'm exhausted.
I have not. I just read it though. Here it is. He just likes old Survivor better than new Survivor. He likes longer days. He thinks people are more loyal to each other because they spend more time together, and that this like the sped up game makes it too much like numbers oriented because it's just like playing
TK for Gov.
Yeah,
TK for Gov.
So I don't know. Maybe he's right there. I don't think it's the hottest take, but
no, I don't think. I think a lot of these again. I don't think they're doing hot takes. I think they're doing soapboxes.
Yeah, exactly. I wish
they could still be replaced by an alternate. Could you imagine? Like, here's my real hot take, and Jeff goes, "Get that guy out." Like
Jeff Probst should be fired from the show.
Yeah. He's the worst. Once he
hot take, and then they
became
just
producer and took
over.
Why
casting. Am I not on the show anymore? What happened?
Yeah. Moving off TK then.
Yeah, he's great. Azul.
I mean, we all really like TK.
Is this the first season they've ever done red, blue, and yellow for tribes to start?
It's the unique mixture.
God damn it!
Yeah, I think this is first.
What's next? Purple or green?
Oh, look, a brand new occupation we haven't seen in years. A radio show host. What was the directive for casting this year?
So, I mean, we do have a podcast host, a podcaster, a reporter, and now a radio show host.
Yeah,
kind of interesting. Kind of weird.
Why didn't they put them all on one tribe and just make it like entertainers versus nurses versus
audio versus visual versus touch?
Why are they putting two people from Maryland?
The masseuse tribe, and then actors are the visual tribe, maybe cheerleaders or models, and then the audio tribe. We got a full audio.
Why are they putting two people from Maryland?
Yeah, an esports commentator, as St. Clippo says. So it's a lot of audio.
Yeah. And they are both from Maryland on this same starting tribe.
Because it's literally going to be like, I do this stuff for Ravens players, right? For TK's job, and he's going to go, I love the Ravens.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell?
Good
hosting his own talk show in Baltimore on a major station. Sadly, left that job to pursue Survivor. But
I bet you $100 it's a pick'em then. Because they wouldn't do this, and they don't have tribal stuff. and everyone has like colors. And we are breaking. This is breaking news speculation that it was a pick'em, because there's no freaking way they would put somebody from Baltimore when it's that close to probably that other city that TK lives in.
And they both do similar things.
And they're like the same age, 31 and 26. That's like the same.
You think that we start with a day 0?
I bet you they go, here's a couple things about me. And somebody goes Baltimore, and he goes, one of them doesn't say Baltimore, and the other one goes, hey, I'm from Maryland too.
I mean, I just think it's interesting that last season they took pictures of all the tribes together, and this season they did not.
Yeah, it's a pick'em. It's a pick'em. Got him.
And I don't think Survivor officially announced the tribes, because normally like Bloom and Dalton Ross and stuff will put out the pictures of the tribes. I think it's just True Dark Times.
It's a pick'em. Jayburn is never letting me breathe in the comments.
What do we think on Gabe? Gabe's main vibe is that he's not here to make friends, and he admits he admits it's a cliche, but that it's such a cliche no one means it. And he's like, I actually really mean this. Like, I do not care about these people, and like, I don't care if we're friends. I just want to win. I don't know. I don't think that's a winning mentality for Survivor, because guess what? The whole point of Survivor is to actually make friends and get them to vote for you to win $1 million and not have them vote you out along the way. So I fear for that mentality. I feel like they could maybe work on another show, and it's probably a good mindset to have in some competitive environments. I don't think Survivor is one of those. So that worries me. But he's going to be a Ravens fan, and he's going to bro down with TK. Absolutely. Yeah. So that could get him to the merge.
One thing that is happening in the thing that I'm also agreeing with, the comments on the side, body language looks rough. The last person to put their hands in their pocket in their opening photo was Brandon Donlin. He got second to last place.
No.
If you're
is that real stats on that?
If you're putting your hands in your pocket for your cast photo, you're not confident.
Didn't somebody have their hands in a dress pocket and that made you made you lose your mind, Blake? Didn't that happen?
Dresses have pockets?
Nowadays. Chloe Grace Moretz made that popular.
If you are putting your hands in your pocket for a picture that's going to be the most famous photo taken of you of your life, and you're putting your hands in your pockets, you are not a confident person. And you're
don't you think there's a photographer there just trying to mix up their
portfolio? He's got two thumbs.
You got to go, bro. I'm not putting my hands in my pocket. I'm not crazy.
That's what you say. You just tell the photographer, you're like, no, man, no way.
You're allowed to be. I'm not gonna. They're not gonna be like, look over your shoulder, and you go, like, come on.
He doesn't even have who he would play the game most like. Oh, wait, here it is. He thinks there's a bit of lots of players he resonates, but to be honest, he does. I don't want people to watch me and say, wow, he's like XZY, not even XYZ, XZY. I want people to look at other players that come after me and be like, wow, he's like Gabriel. I've been saying that since season 4. I haven't been able to stop saying that since season 4. So, yeah, I don't always love that answer. I feel like too many people give that answer. But where was the other thing in here? His older brother is his inspiration. I don't think he actually watches Survivor.
Yeah, he's going home. He's like, this is 17th place.
No, I think that could actually be good for him. I don't think he's a big Survivor fan. The fact that he didn't name anybody to me screams, and he doesn't mention Survivor in all of his stuff.
He actually think that's good. His Survivor hot take is about how Russell isn't that bad, and that he probably
watched 2 seasons.
Yeah, he's like Russell is actually a really loyal ally.
He is a really loyal. Actually, I said this when I was watching Australian Survivor, because he's on the 2018 season, which I'm now doing.
The world.
And I feel like Russell is one of the most loyal. The only person who's ever betrayed in Survivor history is Danielle. It's the only one.
But in terms of loyalty, everyone pegged him as this sneaky, conniving player in both games that he played. He didn't make it deep. The third season didn't make it up. Day 1 or day 2 lines to the very end, with the exception of Sandra, because he had to trade her out for Danielle because Danielle had her breakdown at Tribal that led her to boot. But he said boot, and that's like pretty, Survivor fan jargony. If you're part of Russell's alliance early in the game, he was taking you to the end. So, I mean, he's at least watched those 3 seasons. 3 seasons with Russell. He mentioned,
or at least watch 2 seasons and 2 episodes or whatever.
Yeah, true. Maybe he's just a big Russell fan.
Yes, I know, Jay Byrne. It's 3 episodes. He makes it. Okay.
Saint Cliffo said this is the guy who wants to be on the Mount Rushmore of New Era Survivor. If you're thinking about Mount Rushmore before you even step on the beach, You got a storm coming, baby.
I don't know, man. Somebody won Survivor and they already had the check written in their name on day one. So I don't know. And you praised that person pretty good, Blake.
Well, that was 2000. 24-year.
I worry about Gabe.
I think Gabe could go far. I don't think Gabe wins. I don't think he's going to be an early boot, though. I think he gives off too obvious of early boot vibes. I actually think he's going to be the villain of the season. He's going to be like this season's Q, where there's really not much of a chance to win, but.
And his name sounds like Gabler, so it's going to remind people of Gabler the whole time.
And they're just going to want to vote him out because of that, because Gabler, dominated.
No, I love Gabe. He's going to go far.
Last man, Kyle Ostwald, 31, Sheboygan, Michigan. He's a construction worker, hands in pockets. We hate him. Who knows who took? We don't know who took the picture first. So Brandon Donlin set the stage in 45. Is Kyle the one who broke the streak, or was it Gabe? We don't actually know, Blake.
If you don't think TK is winning the whole season when you see the other two dudes on his tribe put his hands in their pockets, you're out of your mind.
This guy's fun, ambitious, creative. He's eaten dinner from a dumpster with a hippie, and he's been out on $1 million yachts because he's done van life. That's fun. He wants to inspire his children to change their wildest dreams. Clearly wrote Chase. The person screwed him when they typed that one up.
Change your
I'm going to
dream.
be an astronaut one day. Change it.
He wants to play like Jesse from season 43. And then he would say JT.
Like that.
Yep. And then he goes JT. I like that. He loves to travel, loves being a dad. It's his favorite. So that's good. Love that for him. Valued alliance partner needs to be honest. The reason he strives to see other people and help people be happy is because he didn't want to see anybody else feel the pain that he's felt in his life. Building his family a house by himself with a minimum to no help from anybody. That's insane. Biggest inspiration in my life. All right, let's crack knuckles. I mean, look at how my life started and then look at what it's become. Life should have dealt me the recipe for disaster. I baked a brownie with it. I'm so proud of myself. I found the love of my life. I'm part of the family. I've experienced and accomplished more than anybody in my family ever has. And I think I'm just getting started. So his biggest inspiration is him. I love that. That's a better answer. That's good.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
If only his hands were a little bit higher up on his picture.
Yeah, that's all it would be. And then he'd be the winner. That's a great answer. Honestly, I think he has to be my winner pick because
or a little bit lower. Just, like dangling below his pockets or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Since you just called Ben a
he's
dork,
giving me Hunter energy.
Oh yeah, Hunter energy.
When he talks, he does have a little bit of like a draw too.
He's got the accent. He's got the carpentry. I don't know if he built a bunch of Survivor challenges, but he knows how to build houses, and he's going to be like kind of the good old boy archetype.
Could you imagine?
How to build but people will like him. Yeah, no, he built like an entire house. Like that's insane.
And you waste your time building Survivor challenges instead. It's like you could rehome everyone in your neighborhood.
Yeah, you could build houses for the kids puzzles that need to change their dreams, and now they'll have a house.
He looks like Ian from Palau, says Sincere. I could definitely get that.
He does. He does have some Ian in him. Good call.
Can you say third place somewhat quit? He gets to Final Tribal and says, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want to be here anymore."
He could be your zero vote finalist as someone who didn't he's not giving me vibes that he's going to take the game portion all that seriously, and he could be out there to like catch fish, build shelter, have a good time, be good in challenges, all that. Doesn't that just scream this guy?
Yeah. Yes. The weird thing about his starting tribe is like, does he get along with TK? Does he get along with Gabe?
I think he will. I think he's gonna be
dude.
I think he's gonna be a good hang. It's just I don't think he has the game to get to
he's
the
going
end
to build the
game.
entire shelter in 4 days, and everyone's going to go, thank you, Kyle.
I think he also, and I don't know if this might have been in his
you want his hot take?
I think somebody had him listed as Kyle Ren. Like Kylo Ren. I think that's what came up on EW. I'm not even joking. I think it was in quotes on one of the websites where like that is like what he refers to himself as. So we'll see if that actually comes true. It wasn't on parade.
By the way, which one of these people was the mystery 18th person that we didn't know?
We haven't gotten to her yet.
Okay, cool.
Oh, did you put her last on purpose or something?
No, I actually didn't put them in order on purpose at all, but we actually haven't gotten to her. She might be next. I have no idea.
Do you want Kyle's hot take here?
We want them all. We have 4 left. Let's suffer through.
So he wants to see strong players make it to the end. And by that, he means he doesn't want to see goats. And he wants people like to get multiple votes at tribal council, which I always say is like a defining part of a great finale is going into final tribal where you don't know who's going to win, where there are multiple players who can get multiple votes. So I am with this take. I don't know if it's that hot, but he basically wants the era of goats to be over, and he wants there to be strong people at the end actually fighting for jury votes, and it's not like this foregone conclusion once you get there.
So let me ask you this.
There hasn't been a goat on Survivor in years.
I was going to say, though, do you really feel like the new era has like obvious goats, or do you think the gameplay has turned them into goats? Like, I feel like I've said this a lot. I feel like every third placer on Survivor could win a season of Survivor. Maybe
I think it's the gameplay of like, you didn't do enough, or like, what is your defining moment of the game that all the votes shift on to one person? I mean, we had 7-1 was like, we had that 4 in a row.
Yeah, it was the first 4 until D only
won
5-3, and everybody says D is the best player of the new era, which we agree with. But it's just funny that the first person to not win 7-1.
Yeah, but I think that, I mean, we wanted a tribal council, even though to us it was pretty obvious that D was going to end up winning over Austin from what we'd seen in the previous episodes. But like, I'm with Kyle here. We want to see a final tribal council with a couple, 2, maybe even 3 people who have a chance at winning. But
yeah,
I'd rather win the worst season of Survivor than get second place on the best season.
But I think this is his take, not of the season he's on, just like in Survivor in general. What's something you would?
Oh my God! Since your Jake is in the chat, don't say he's a goat.
Psycho. Let's move on to the women. So we've done all the men. Let's move on to the Jake T. Let's go. Randy Bailey.
All right, Randy Bailey in the house, or Jake T in the house.
Thank you for the super like there. Appreciate it. Sue Smay, 59, oldest person on the season. Kirkwood, New York. Putnam Valley, New York. Flight school owner.
Queen,
is it just like automatic because she's the oldest woman?
Yeah.
Queen.
You gotta say it too,
Phil.
She's high energy. She's high energy for sure.
Let me see if I can get Sue.
Phil, you got to say Queen too, real quick.
I'm not gonna say it. I don't believe it yet.
Kyle was not high energy. One of the few.
She says she's the female Tony Vlachos.
That's good.
Badass, fearless, adrenaline junkie. That's 4 words. Unbelievable. Why do you want to be part of Survivor? It's been a lifelong dream since the first episode. She wants the title. Nice. She wants to be a legend. Grew up spending the summers on an island with generations of family. Were poor, no drinking water, no hot showers, no heat. Had to schlep to the water well with jugs for water, jump in the river to bathe, start a fire for cold days. Grandparents had an outhouse. Wants to play like Tony, a combo of Tony and Sari. She says alliances are only temporary, so I'm not expecting much from anyone. We're all going to lie as a team, and I'm hoping to learn a new language, maybe to dance, maybe learn about someone's cultural or spiritual beliefs. Racquetball, tennis, snow skiing, ice skating, building stone fireplaces, making mantles, wood columns. Pet peeves, one-uppers, people who talk too much about stuff that no one cares about, can't read the room. Energy drainers, people who are only negative and complain all the time. Most proud of packing your bag, $20 your name, and leaving a toxic, dysfunctional, abusive environment at 21 years old. She's a Sigma female, an introvert. She thrives to be a champion, but doesn't want the pat on the back, believes she's powerful, but treats people with kindness and humility. Her biggest inspirations are uncle, so at least we're getting out from underneath the normal family stuff. Always took the time to help her see that it wasn't her fault. Showed her pure, unconditional love. She's going to be the sole survivor. She's badass, not afraid of anything or anyone. Will take the lead and follow her gut. Will take out the threats and work at manipulating the others to do what she suggests. They will see following me will help to get them far, and all will respect how I play it. I mean, she certainly has a personality in all of these answers. That's for sure.
Definitely. Yes.
Ramble time. I think she is probably one of the most people I'm excited for based on the hype, based on the, I think she's going to be here's the person with the first confessional right after John, because John is a big get. We're going to focus on John. And then here's the foil to John, maybe, of it's somebody with a different opinion, somebody with a different energy or whatever. And I think she's going to have strong things. I fully expect her to probably yell at other people from other tribes when it's time to go do a challenge, or be like, screw you. I can't wait for her to do that. I can't wait for her to have a time where she's talking to somebody about strategy. And it's like, do you want to align with the 59-year-old woman? Well, she's actually probably stronger than some of these other girls here. And I can't wait for Sue to figure it out. And I do hope she makes it through a couple of tribal councils and is not just the de facto first boot where we go, man, I wish that she could have made it. Like I hope Sue gets a fair shake and gets deep into the game.
Yeah, I'm with you, Blake. I fear that she could go early, but I want to see her last a while. And I want her to really bring it. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't really see winning upside with Sue, unfortunately, but I think we're going to enjoy her for as long as we have her, and hopefully that's, at least until the merge.
I think she could win. I do. I feel like
legends are made.
I feel like out of all the older women that have played the game, I feel like she might have the best chance to make. Because Julie was close. I'm talking about Julie.
Yeah.
But I feel like Sue has like an insane amount of confidence, and we don't. I'm not saying that the older women who play don't have a lot of confidence, but Sue is very outward with her confidence, and that could rub people the wrong way. But also, I feel like she's got a fun personality, not an obnoxious personality, and I think she could win. I don't think she will.
I don't think she will.
Why do you think an older woman hasn't won Survivor, and what could she do differently?
Be Tina.
Does Tina count as an older woman?
That's the opposite of.
Wasn't Denise actually the oldest woman?
I think Denise might be older.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, Janet was going to win 39.
Janet was going to win.
Oh, Janet won 39. Yeah.
Pretty much. The idol wasn't nullified, right?
Yeah. I mean, Tommy says he would have voted her out at 4, which I believe. I mean, fire making, but I think she wins the fire making, so you can't get rid of her at 4.
Yeah, I think she would too. Let's get her hot take here. It's that she doesn't like the challenge, the last gasp. She doesn't think she could do it, but not because of the breathing part, but because it would be too cold. So, I mean, the waters of Fiji are not that cold. It's pretty warm Pacific Island water, especially they shot this season first, which means it was even warmer. Mm-hmm. But she goes scuba diving. She has a wetsuit usually, but if she didn't have a wetsuit, she would get too cold. So that's her hot take on Survivor.
That's actually a cold take. Talking about
it is a cold take. It's a freezing cold take.
Oh my God. Anyway,
this is how.
Let's move off.
Who's the other girl on Azul?
We got 2 more. Tiana Hallam. I really did save the girl who was the last one.
It was Tiana. Is she the mystery?
No, the last person is. Oops. I didn't do that on purpose. I swear. 27 years old from Hawaii flight attendant.
With the flight school?
Never had one of those.
They literally
they did flight school and flight attendant on the same. So whoever
they have to pick the tribes.
Third woman is going to be like, well, damn, the other 2 girls are just talking about flying the whole time. And if I recall correctly, Tiana is not only a flight attendant, but she's currently she's like in flight school in her dreams to become a pilot. So it's not just like a flight attendant who is in this tangential area of like being around airplanes. She actually wants to be a pilot actively. So whoever the third woman is, I feel bad for, because it's going to be tough for her to crack this bond of, I think love is in the air here with these 2.
Do you think, and I'm like really buying into this now because it's just weird that we didn't get the stuff. Do you think that they do a similar start to Palau where everybody gets out there, they talk to each other, they get to meet each other, they get to do everything, and then they pick them? Because there's a lot of similarities between people on these tribes that they would avoid. Like, there's no way they'd put a flight instructor and a flight attendant on who's going for a pilot license on the same tribe. We had the 2 guys from Maryland.
The Baltimore guys, and then the who was
Andy
it?
And John. I said
Andy,
that was,
like maybe Andy picked John. He's like, oh, I want him on my tribe because I'm a fan of his podcast. Yeah. Phil, someone in the comments way long ago, I don't know if we can pull it up, but said like Sweat and Savvy is gone this season. And if Sweat and Savvy is gone, it's not that there's just nothing else there. It definitely got replaced by something. And now what you're saying about, I've been looking at these photos, and a lot of them are these multicolored where it's like, wow, they have a piece of red, blue.
They're all wearing
no blue
white.
on.
Yeah.
Like some of these shirts are just all, and then maybe once they get selected onto a tribe, they're given their like yellow outfit, their red outfit, or their blue outfit. But I mean,
it looks like,
I don't know. Survivor hasn't done that in so long, but you're right. Like something seems up
Yeah, and based on what Rome was wearing, where he had the blue and red tank with the yellowish shorts, it's almost like they said, wear these 3 colors, and he trolled them.
Yeah. No, it's almost like they picked one out so that you always have one of the colors, at least in your press photo, so it doesn't stand out as like being incorrect. And then they get their actual clothes.
I mean, because every other season they are so obviously wearing the colors.
Haven't we seen them? Didn't we see like in the preview them on boats and them pulling up to the first thing and they're already?
I mean, here's the thing though: if
this
you look
is like
up Survivor 47 tribes,
it would be such a break from convention.
The tribe divisions have not officially been announced by CBS. That is
and that is interesting. Yeah. Yes, Sweat and Savvy is gone. We have Gyro D. Garcia is letting us know. So we're all going to really miss that, I think.
I mean, Jolinski broke it, literally.
He just quit.
He threw it.
I'm wondering, because this is the first day of content, but I'm wondering if other podcasts have come to this conclusion or if it's like we're barking up a very wrong tree. But I just don't see why production would be
very surprising to me. But there are now a lot of we do have 3 pairs of distinct pairs of people that seem like.
Because I would be annoyed if I was not one of these pairs and how did I have a fair shake? I've not even been on an airplane until I flew to Fiji, and they're both on airplanes all the time.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, that's how it always is. What do we think about Tiana though? We didn't actually talk about.
We didn't talk about Tiana.
What's Tiana's hot take? Her hot take is Q was right, and Applebee should never have gone to that one lady. I was like, oh shit, let's go. Tiana's on Q's side. Tiana from Hawaii, our first Hawaiian. That's pretty cool too.
Played volleyball for Gonzaga and sand volleyball for University of Utah, which is weird. She calls it sand volleyball because it's called
a beach volleyball.
Yeah,
and she went to 2 different colleges, and if anyone has more beaches, it would be Gonzaga over.
You don't know where Gonzaga is in Washington, do you?
But it's on a state that's coastal, whereas Utah is not.
Yeah, but that's like living in Needles, California.
Sure, but you can take a bus to the ocean where there's beach.
Yes. She loved Gabler.
Actually, it's sand volleyball. Actually, it's not beach volleyball.
Do you see that? Loved Gabler.
We have a lot of Gabler fans on this season.
Finally, we had a Gabler hater, and everyone fell in love with them. So now we have the Gabler lovers are going to be like everyone's least favorite players, maybe.
She built a good relationship with her siblings. That's what she's most proud of. You wouldn't know that she's a really deep thinker, loves asking people deep questions, fascinated by the human psyche. Biggest inspiration is her grandma. Be the sole survivor because she's smart, tenacious, cutthroat, socially aware, and has a magnetic personality. Want this more than anyone, and I'll stay up finding 1,000 idols if I have to. So everybody's telling her idols aren't that important. She's going to find 1,000 of them.
Look at the hand placement here. Could have been in pockets. Very demure, a little bit higher, and architecture of the hands is very interesting to look at. This is someone who is laughing and confident. This person is not going home first.
Yelling?
What?
She started yelling, or it was a howl. So she's got high energy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think she'll do fine. I think she'll fit in. I think she's got good vibes.
Of all the women, I honestly think this might be our best chance of a winner out of the women.
Perhaps. I think she definitely has some overconfidence too. Again, not necessarily a bad thing.
Who's our last flight attendant that was on the show? Do you guys have that in your mind? We have a flight attendant winner with Todd, but I think that's an occupation that does teach you patience. It does teach you how to talk to a wide amount of people, and it is kind of like that's what you need on Survivor.
Yeah. Interesting. I think Tiana's got a good shot. Yeah, I also just watched the Australian Survivor season that has a flight attendant do pretty well. So it's in my head fresh of how flight attendants can be social.
Yeah, I think I see. I think there's winning upside with her if she can make the merge, but I could also see her going early.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I'm at. She says she's gonna be very fun and Hawaiian and laid back. That's going to kind of be her vibe. And then she's gonna
Livin.
Oh,
she's going to
Ricard
be
was a
cutthroat
flight attendant?
behind the scenes. So
I like the cutthroat behind the scenes. I do.
she's like an iceberg. More going on than meets the eye. That's Tiana.
I do feel like based on what she's saying here, she probably is an Australian Survivor fan, is a big Survivor fan, and probably does like Jericho quite a bit. Because also a flight attendant, and like pretty much everything she just said are like taking words out of his mouth. So just for all you Australian Survivor people, now I can say I watched it. So I watched.
Yeah, now you're gonna sick
Ricard
references,
from
bro. Your
41.
references are out of this world.
Thank you. They're out of this country. Last one. She actually was the last one. I didn't do this on purpose. Caroline Vidmar, 27, Palos Verdes, California, now lives in Chicago, Illinois, is a strategy consultant.
Oh, shout out Chicago. Check out my painting.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Look at you.
Is this the mystery lady?
This is the reason why we couldn't do this months and months ago.
Wow.
I know.
Well, we wouldn't have had the videos and these questionnaires and these
We wouldn't have these great hot takes.
spicy takes.
So she's adventurous, enthusiastic, supportive. It's been her dream to be on Survivor since she was 5 years old. When she was younger, she loved watching Survivor and seeing how happy people were when they won a challenge. And as she grew up and began to understand how grueling and tough Survivor is, the more she fell in love with the show. The day after her final Survivor interview, she flew to Chile to backpack the Patagonia W Trek. It was fantastic endurance training. She resonates with Tori from 42 and Emily from 45. I love their honest takes and thought. Their insights were spot on. I love to play like D. Can't play like all three of them. Her strategy drove the game. She was smart, perspective, and kept her best moves secret from other players until the final tribal council. Wants an alliance partner who thinks they can beat her at final tribal. She thinks she can beat. Trying new foods while traveling, biking along Lakeshore Drive in Chicago, hosting game show themed competitions. Some favorites include chopped cooking contests, hot ones, spicy nugget challenges, and amazing race themed scavenger hunts. Hates incompetency, loud chewers. People ask you complete something by a deadline and then send a follow-up before the deadline. What is something we would never know from looking at you? She grew up playing a ton of water sports, including water polo, swimming, kiteboarding, surfing,
How would we know
diving.
that from looking at anyone?
I know. 3 biggest inspirations. Her dad's a master of making people feel special. Her brother's the best human being she knows. And her mom is her hero. She's going to finish 18th place. Soul Survivor. She's the complete answer to this question. She says the complete answer to this question is taking me too long to write. So I'll just say this. I've been prepping for this experience for a long time. I have grit, determination, expertise needed to win. I'm exhausted. What do we got for Caroline? She's on the blue tribe.
Look, Azul dress. She's last pick. Anyway, that's why she wasn't on the 18. The thought process for me, here we go. Tony Velachos, after he played, we had a couple
Couldn't have
people
said that more wrong.
like War Dog and Joe Mina showed up, or Mena, sorry, to be like, we want another Tony Velachos type of a loud, bald guy. And I think this is our first. Emily Flippin was an all-star. We would like another one like that. Just send them our way. She even says some stuff like Emily in her bios. She says she's going to be like Emily. If you read her hot take in a second, you could literally close your eyes and be like, did Emily say this? And it is something where we're trying to lightning strikes twice. Of earlier we were talking about, oh, this is another David Wright. I think this is our shot at Emily Flippin number 2, which is an interesting thing of like, now that's an archetype we're going to look for.
Yeah, I think the Emily and Tori comparisons excite me for her as a character on this show and this season. I don't know if that's a good thing you want for your own game. Tony the Nachos.
Because of how Blake said Velachos.
That's how I say it in my head every time I see his.
Sorry. Well, I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
I think she's going to be fun TV.
You have to remember,
Tori, prospects.
Tori was very close to being the first boot on her season. Emily would have been the first boot on her season.
Mm-hmm.
Caroline, oh, that gives me bad vibes. And honestly, with how this tribe shook out, where you have just a bunch of people who love being in airplanes.
Yeah, no, the other 2 women are going to be bonding. So I think Caroline's going to be kind of out on her own.
But Caroline's head's going to be in the clouds, so the plane will be right next to it?
I don't know. I think you could see. I think if Carolyn, is it Carolyn or Caroline?
Caroline. It's got to be Caroline. Ending in INE. Carolyn is
Y.
Yeah, Y.
But I don't know. Does it have to be? I don't know. if she gets it together, she can maybe make a run at this thing. I just don't see the chances are not high. She has a very similar hot take as John Lovett, which is big moves are overrated. You don't need to make big moves. But John at least said like, but that's what people value, so I have to take that into account. Caroline is saying, I just don't want to make big moves because then I'll just get voted off the next episode. So she doesn't have that second level of analysis. But I do think both these players have the right thinking that you don't want to just make a big move to make a big move. So
the other thing that was interesting about her hot take thing, she wanted you as a fan reading this to know exactly how much she had seen. She's like, we're halfway through this and they're obsessed with this right now. I'm not going to see another episode, but I think the people caring about big moves for 46, it's ingrained in my brain. It's stupid. And I think that's interesting. Anybody who's saying Kinsey Petty is Emily Flippin 2.0, I don't think I've ever thought that in my entire life. What are we talking about? Is that something everyone believes?
No. What do we think about the Palos Verdes thing here? One of the richest little towns you can be in out there in California. Through average household income, $340,000, poverty rate 3.82%.
Don't tell people that's where you're from.
But I'm not asking about not asking about how is that going to affect her. I'm saying like, do you think that her upbringing, if she did have like kind of like a pampered air quotes, does that hurt her? Like, does being from like that type of lifestyle hurt her?
Can you imagine? You're like, I'm Blake from Martha's Vineyard, and you don't get voted out immediately.
Yeah, I could.
I mean, Cliff Robinson showed up at like 7 feet tall and didn't get voted out immediately.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think it necessarily hurts her. I think it could hurt her more in like a practical way of like if she talks about that and says those things. So, yeah.
Why was she not?
She'll be good TV. It seems like though she'll be a good character.
Yeah, I agree.
Not my winner pick, but yeah,
she's gonna get 11th place.
No,
you should have done that. You should have done that with everybody as we went through. I remember we have a 6th placer. I think we have an 18th placer. Now we have an 11th placer. So you just have to fill out the rest. Maybe
the clues are all there. I gave you everything you needed, Mr. Police.
Wait, now, Will, we already had our hot take. Blake, what do you think about this tribe?
Azul's
gonna have some tough time and challenges.
They're not gonna be great at challenges. I do think having the oldest woman in the cast is always not a great but Sue's kind of like, let's do this. I'm interested on Kyle, I think is his name. I'm already gonna forget all this stuff.
There's no Kyle on the season.
There's no Kyle on this season.
But there is a Kyle on this season. It's the Hunter guy.
Yeah, the Hunter.
Oh,
guy.
Kyle! There is a Kyle on this season.
I'm interested of like. This tribe looks like who's going to do our puzzles, and it's going to be all on Caroline, but we don't really like Caroline, but now we need to keep her for puzzles, or do we? I think that'll be an interesting thing. I do think Caroline's probably going to be the last one picked in the pick'em that we are saying is going to be a thing. I am rooting for Rojo, Amarillo. Azul's my... No, I like TK. I think
are you rooting for Azul?
2 people from this tribe will go pre-merge.
Yeah,
and then 4 of them.
I don't know. I'm rooting for this tribe. I think this tribe could be a mess, though.
I think this tribe has
this is the
most
messiest tribe. Yeah,
this is the Q tribe from last season.
Yeah, this is the Johnny. And I like the Amarillo tribe second. I think we just reverse order. I like the last tribe the best, the second tribe the second best, first tribe. But I mean, who knows? We were so wrong.
Honestly, I think red probably has the winner. I think blue is probably the most exciting, and I think yellow
is.
Let's get that. Hey,
blue's
now
the
that
mess,
we've done this,
and then yellow is like the good vibes tribe.
Get that cast photo back up right now. Let's
break this down.
We have people leaning away from Sue. She's toast already.
I'm talking about the colors. I like our color theory.
I mean, look at what Solomon is wearing.
But look at Caroline's like full blue dress. Like that's not equivocating at all. That knows it's a blue tribe person. Maybe she's
the captain of that tribe.
But Sierra's wearing green.
Yeah, and also Sue is wearing a red dress there.
the Fiji women
True.
are
Sue
So
ends up on a tribe.
So
with her,
maybe that's just so Sue ended up on blue, Caroline ended up on blue. One of them had to switch dresses, one of them didn't.
Yeah, I
Wait,
like
maybe
this.
we could just ask one of them that's in our chat to break their NDA immediately. And
Yeah, what's the worst that happens?
I mean, Kyle is just so neutral. I guess he's got blue shorts on, but it's like a white, like a beige shirt.
I mean, look at Rome's outfit. He's literally wearing blue, red, and yellow.
Yeah.
And then Annika is wearing a purple dress. And what color is she supposed to be on? Red?
Anika is on.
Don't they usually put the final three in the center? There's no way.
No, Anika's on yellow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Aniko's on yellow, and they have her wearing purple.
This is peculiar. This is worth looking into. And
good thing we have 14 days.
Yeah,
the least amount since.
This is going to come out in an article tomorrow. We're not going to get any credit for snuffing this one.
Yeah,
it's going to be like big twist is back for season 47. Is that they?
I'm going to tweet it right now.
Yeah, tweet it.
I am. I'm going to tweet it right now.
Wait, what? I thought.
Do we think potentially that the cast was able to pick their own tribes due to the cast photo and some peculiar pairings?
Interesting.
Just
John Lovett. Look at that Fijian background too.
That's where they are, Blake.
I don't get the half are sitting.
It's so that you don't have to put 18.
You want to put 18 people in a line?
No,
Two rows. Helps with the aspect ratio of the cast photo.
I mean, I don't need this much beach in here. I'd rather have the top half of the green mountain, but you know how much I hate the photographers of this show.
All right. Let's finish this out real quick. Give me your winner picks, and then let me get out of here because it's 11:30.
Yeah. TK.
Well, say it nicely so I can cut it.
I gotta say, after this cast assessment, TK is my winner pick. Just get it from when I already said it.
You just said it.
No, it's
easier. I go TK. TK is my winner pick. He's got it all.
I like the idea of like making somebody else go through the 2.5 hour podcast we just did because Will couldn't just say it normal for 10 seconds.
Woo!
McKenna, your life stinks.
Can we just have AI do it?
Oh my gosh.
Blake, who you got?
Andy's in charge. What I'd like to say is follow us on Patreon. I think Sierra is destined for greatness. I think she is a hoot. I think it will be her tribe to get through, and she'll be a swing vote at the merge and take it all the way to the end. Sierra is my winner pick.
I'm between Rome and Tiana, and I'm gonna go with Tiana. I'm going to pick Tiana as the winner of this season. I think the starting tribe works out for her. Flight attendants tend to do pretty well on Survivor. I think she's got the social game, and her starting tribe's a little bit of a mess, but sometimes when you're on the messy starting tribe, you pull it out. We just saw it happen in 46 with Kenzie. So I like Tiana's shot.
Who's getting last place?
And St. Cliffo says it right here. Use the mocking voice version for Will. Don't you worry, St. Cliffo. Don't you worry. All right, that's it. That's the cast.
That is a full 2.5 hour podcast right there.
That is wild. So make sure you follow us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, X, all that fun stuff. We'll be putting out our schedule coming up. It's going to be a little bit up in the air. We're going to be podcasting whenever we can kind of fit it in. Will always seems to get work right before Survivor starts, and I'm chaotic right now, and Blake's over there just suffering through us changing up our plans every day. So
season 2, though, it's going to be coming your way. Apply now.
I love that. But yeah, we'll be doing our prop bet game, our over-under game. We will also be doing a fantasy draft. And then, of course, if you want to become a patron, you can participate with your own fantasy team, and you can play in our power rankings game. Again, that's for our top tier patrons because we give away prizes for those. One of the prizes we'll be doing this year is going to be a custom Funko Pop from Todd Herzog. So super excited for that. Become a patron, patreon.com/the specialists. You can get our Every Season Matters, which is twice a week, Survivor Rock Draw, Casting Perspective, Australian Survivors going out every week. We got movie stuff over there, and we're going to be having more in-season Survivor content once that gets rolling. So we have so much content over on the Patreon. You're not going to find more anywhere else in the community. No offense to anybody else. You're just not. So thank you all so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Let us know in the comments who your favorites are, who you think is going to win, who's the first boot, and do you think this pick'em thing is real?
Would you take your hands out of your pockets, even if the photographer insisted?
Blake, look right in the middle of this photo.
Who?
Keyshawn.
No!
Hands are so buried. His thumbs aren't even out. And look at John Lovett over there on the side, right hand pocket in.
God. Get him
Anyway, that's what we got. Thank you all so much for listening. Give us a like. Make sure to follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
All
and
that
we'll see you next
fun
time.
stuff. See ya.